Radio.
I went out to the Art of Granite, and I met Mitch. Came to America with $300 in his pocket. He starts working in granite and then decides to have his own place. He's a fabricator. They take this stone and make it into beautiful countertops. He meets you in your home, not in a warehouse. He designs your countertops, and then you buy only enough granite to get it done. You don't have to buy the slab, or 2, or 3, and then he makes it beautiful with artistic edges, backdrops, and they also do, of course, other stones like marble. They do limestone. They do all kinds of stone. They never mark up the stone ever. When you get a kitchen right now, he's going to throw in the bath for no charge. And he's going to show you how it's done the right way. 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919. You don't have to put on combat boots or a big hard hat. All you have to do is call Mitch and meet him at your home. 303-386-5919. And online at artofgranite.net.
Coloradans 62 and older, are you not feeling as financially secure as you'd like to? Is cash flow tight? Are you retiring or experiencing a life change? And do you own your own home? Then consider a reverse mortgage from American Financing. Reverse mortgages are loans that pay you monthly by using the equity in your home. They also protect your spouse from possibly losing your home if you pass away, and FHA ensures that you never owe more than your house is worth. Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky, and here are the facts. You benefit immediately from no monthly mortgage payments, and you have access to tax-free money, all while owning your home. That's right, you still own your home, but now have access to your equity when you need it most. With a reverse mortgage from American Financing, you can feel confident about living your golden years with financial comfort and security. Their mortgage consultants are salary-based, so conversations are simple, straightforward, and honest. Call American Financing today at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000 or online at AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, regulated by the Division of Real Estate.
Hey, bada, swing, bada. My sister Michelle loves the American pastime.
Len and Michelle, the sisters from Brothers.
I do love the boys of summer. Well, I think the real boys of summer work for Brothers. There are technicians swinging away day after day to keep our clients cool. Perfect time of year to call Brothers for an AC checkup. They'll run your unit through a comprehensive 25-point inspection. And your next utility bill won't look as though you're trying to cool Coors Field. Book your AC checkup today online at brothersplumbing.com.
It's time to gear up for summer fun. The Ready to Ride sales event is here. Looking to ride the waves? Check out our selection of Sea-Doo watercraft. Want to tear up the trails? Shop our selection of Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Or rev up for open road adventures with the latest Spyder Roadsters. Stop in now and save up to $3,500 on your ultimate warm weather adventure machines.
Visit RPM Motorsports in Lakewood and Littleton and online at rpmms.com.
Offer ends soon. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
Well, they're finally here. Hi, it's Pat Woodard, and this is the week that Hanson McLean hosts its free retirement workshops in Cherry Creek, Broomfield, Highlands Ranch, and Colorado Springs. They're answering important questions like, can I afford to retire? How can I make my money last? How can I save money on taxes? Should I pay off my mortgage or invest? Do I need a will? And lots more. Hanson McLean has been hosting these free retirement workshops for more than 20 years, and thousands of people have attended. And hey, we've all seen the workshops where you go in expecting to learn something and you get a high-pressure sales pitch. Not from Hanson McLean. There's never a sales pitch or any obligation, just straightforward retirement education from an award-winning fiduciary advisory firm that only has your best interests at heart. But I have to tell you that time is short and space is limited, so call today, 1-888-2-HANSON, or you can reserve a spot right now at hansonmclean.com. That's 1-888-2-HANSON or hansonmclean.com.
Better than mine. We also get directly involved. That means suing, helping you serve people, accounting, doctors, health, professionals, advice, even mental health. I don't think there's an area of life we don't get involved in initially. All you have to do is call us, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We have a guest in the studio from the referral list. You know how it goes. We never, ever make this show about one topic. We just let you decide what the topic is based on your phone calls. But just in case you have any questions, Devin Johns is with us from Concrete Lift and Stabilization. What the heck is that? You know, so many people have problems with concrete. In fact, I would say in Colorado, most people have problems. I think it's the majority. I think it's rare not to have a problem with concrete. So he'll be here to discuss that if you want to. But I do have some very obvious questions. I just want to tell you our phone number, 303-713-TALK. You can get right through in the beginning. I'll let you know whenever a line is open, 303-713-8255. And, of course, 303-MARTINO. 303-627-8466. That number works 24/7. You leave a message, and if we think we can help you in any way, shape, or form, or you have an issue, we'll call you back, 303-MARTINO. Devin Johns, Concrete Lift and Stabilization. Am I right in saying most, if you look at all concrete, most have problems?
Absolutely.
Why? Soil? Colorado?
Soil. It's comes down to the soil mostly.
But other states don't have this problem.
No, and we have a lot of the bentonite clay around here in Colorado, and so that clay expands, contracts.
What's a void?
It's where there's a significant space between the soil.
What causes it?
Poor compaction, settling of the soil.
Can underground water do it?
Absolutely. It can erode away that soil and cause that void to significantly grow and grow and grow.
Will you always have a cave-in when you have a void?
Cave-in, like, what do you mean?
Will it always crack or heave when you have
concrete? Yeah, the concrete definitely weakens because of that support's not underneath that concrete, and so it can definitely crack.
Now, a lot of people don't see a drop, but they see a heave. They see a lifting. How do you help with lifting?
Boy, when it's heaved like that, there's often times where we can't do anything with that.
But see, you'll go out and analyze everything free, right?
Absolutely.
You don't charge for that.
No.
And then you'll offer a solution, which is either mud jacking or poly jacking. We'll talk about that coming up. 303-713-8255. Tony wants to talk about an RV. Tony, what's going on with you?
Hello, Tom. Thank you for talking to me.
What's going on with your RV?
Okay, here, let me take you off the speaker.
Okay.
Okay, that'd probably be better. I bought a 2008 Mercedes Sprinter van, the high top, big cargo van, no windows or anything.
Yes.
Don't
ever take it to Springs Truck and Auto Service Center. I couldn't have said it better. Okay.
I fully understand, and at this point, where I took my Sprinter van to have the interior upfitted, I can't recommend people going there.
Why did you go there?
Either. Well, because they're one of the few places that does work on RVs, upfitting them and so forth.
Now, what kind of work? We talking mechanical work or interior cosmetics?
Interior cosmetics, carpentry.
Okay.
Work.
And carpeting and all that. Okay, how old is your RV?
It's 2008.
And you just wanted to update it?
I wanted to change it from a full metal cargo hauling interior into the mobile.
Yeah, you wanted, in other words, you wanted to take a cargo van and make it pretty.
I wanted to make it where you could camp in it.
A cargo van. You wanted to make it utility then. You wanted to make it a camper.
I wanted to make it so that I could put either my motorcycle in it, my bicycle.
But did you want to be able to sleep in it and cook in it?
Right, and travel and use it for skiing.
I got you, bro. I got you. That sounds like a cool idea. Tony, they make some mini RVs that are really cool. Mercedes does, by the way. I just wanted to tell you. But you wanted to make your own. I need to know how much. What's the name of the place?
RV Makeovers.
And how much did you pay him?
I paid him for the work initially.
Just tell me how much you paid.
Well, I've paid $8,000, but the invoice that I paid off of had a price of $7,150.
So why did you overpay?
Well, because they were taking so long. They've taken.
So you paid him more because he was taking longer. You said, "Hey, let me reward you and pay you more."
No, because they did some additional upholstery work.
Okay. Hey, Tony, how's the quality of work?
Oh, very good.
Okay.
But,
so far, you paid money, you got a job, the quality is good. What are we complaining about today?
Well, he's been through several different employees working on.
But what are we complaining about today?
Okay. He now an additional $4,500.
He wants an additional 4 right now?
$4,500.
Right now?
The van is done. Yeah, the van is done.
Okay, why does he want an additional $4,500? What's the reason?
He says that he put in over 300 man-hours on it at $125 an
Okay,
hour.
but that wasn't on the estimate, so why does he think he can just come back and charge you?
Because he said he's got $37,500 in it, and he says...
Wait. He said that he invested $37,500 in that?
In labor. And
okay.
He says...
Tony?
And then he says...
Did you ask this question? And none of this is important. It really isn't. Did you ask the question, why do you think I should pay it if you did not, if it wasn't in the contract?
Because he said that this is what he's charging me.
Okay, did you get your van back?
No, the van's sitting in his shop.
He won't give it back?
Where is his shop at?
Where's the shop?
It's over on 44th Avenue by the TA truck stop there at Ward Road.
44th and Ward?
Yeah, is basically where it's at.
And he won't give it back because he wants more money?
Yes, and I went over yesterday.
He can't hold your van.
Well, he doesn't want to let me have it until I pay him, and I've offered him some extra money. You know, I said I would go. He wants a total of $12,500, and I told him, you know, reluctantly that I could give him another little bit.
Hold on a second. It all comes down to this, Tony. Do you have a contract or not? And did he do extra work? I mean, you can't take advantage of him.
We have. I don't want to take advantage of it.
No,
I know
you don't sound like that, but Tony, this guy sounds like he's taking advantage of you. You don't just keep working on something and double the damn price practically.
Well,
you don't have to explain anymore. It's simple. We know what you're saying.
We don't have
the invoice was $7,150. He wants $12,500.
And we do not have a signed contract, but I do have his estimates and so forth.
Oh, you don't even have a contract for the $7,150.
I have the estimate that they accepted my deposit on, and all kinds of things like that.
Okay, all right, Tony, hold on a sec. What do we do, Mark? I say we call this clown.
Well, we call get his side.
But
I mean,
listen
it
to
seems
this.
a little strange.
But listen to this one. They don't have a contract. They have estimates only.
So say it he.
Tony says they have estimates. Here's the problem. He says they did good work. It doesn't sound like just a ripoff. It sounds like a lack of communication. Work was done. I'd like to know the quality, but that they're holding it hostage. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. 303-713-TALK. So, we have a lot more to talk on this. Who's going to call? Let's volunteer. We're going to find someone to call, and then we're going to talk about the art of complaining coming up. I'll give him a call. This is, if the work is good, he did all that, but man, at some point you got to have some.
Hey, Devin, can I show you as far as the number? This is
down in fairly good shape. Good news that earlier medical.
So when you start talking, I put this here up.
Yeah.
You sit right there. And
I am.
I put this up.
I am.
Okay, very good. So that's your band.
Okay, we adjusted everything.
So every time you talk, I switch it
Okay,
over.
I missed it. They're holding the RV hostage because of what?
I need the manager's name and phone number.
Oh, you're going to give a call?
Yeah, he wants more money.
Okay.
He wants way big money. Way big money. Here it is.
Okay.
I mean, you don't just go, he wants like $12,500. You already paid him some, of course.
Okay, I'll get the manager's name and number.
Don't miss Woodley's Memorial Day sale. Take advantage of Woodley's retail pricing on everything.
We can bring Hiram in. Talk to him later.
She'd like a copy of the line.
On what?
I don't want him using. Are we on the line?
Yes, take it off.
Take it off.
He is an attorney at law.
Referralist.com.
Use it offline.
Personal injury attorney. If you've been hurt in an automobile accident or in any other way and you're wondering, is this what I have to look forward to? Missing work, pain, missing vacations, not being able to do stuff around the house, and who pays? Well, if it's someone else's fault, they should pay. That's the way the system works. Now, you may think, I don't want to sue, I don't want to go through all of that. John Fuller is someone you should talk to. It's free of charge. It's complimentary. If he takes the case, it's only payable if he wins, and it's a small percentage of what he collects. If someone is irresponsible, if someone is negligent, they should pay. That's what it's all about. Why should you be the one to suffer? Don't feel guilty. What you need, the services of someone competent like John Fuller, who knows all the areas of law involved. 303-597-4500. 597-4500 on my referral list at referrallist.com.
That crack still showing? You have a crack problem, and the Concrete Doctor has the perfect prescription for your concrete. Whether it's in your driveway, walkway, or patio, we perform crack and joint repair, patchwork, resurfacing, epoxy flooring, and much more. Residential and commercial. Call today for a free checkup. 303-988-2558. That's 303-988-2558 for Concrete DR.
Already adjusted, Bob. I think when you hold the headphones up, it only comes through in one headphone when I'm talking. So you might have just had the one.
Isle Casino Hotel Blackhawk. Receive 1 free entry daily and earn more with play. Don't miss your chance to win a Ford F-150. Must be 21. Any and all terms, conditions, rewards, and or benefits published or received are subject to change or application without notice.
Have you guys ever done a video of you pump jacking?
Yeah.
I'd like to see one.
Yeah,
I'd like to get out there
shows
and do
the
it.
expansion of the foam.
Okay. So you use, when do you use, you're probably going to talk about that, foam versus...
Yeah.
And your concrete is a mixture of mud and concrete, or?
Mixture of mud and cement.
Okay.
Yeah. Clay, sand, cement, water. Yeah.
How do you know when to do what?
The amount that has to be lifted.
No.
I mean that. Or
When do you use foam? When do you use the concrete?
yeah. So like it depends on how high that concrete needs to come up.
Oh, really?
So if it's because the more material it's going to require, the more price is going to be for the polyurethane.
Sure.
And that could be pretty pricey. The expense of the polyurethane just for the material is expensive.
Well, what's the advantage of polyurethane versus just concrete? Does it not compact again?
It never cracks. It never changes its shape. It always remains like that.
Gotcha. As opposed to what?
And that's where it becomes tricky, because if you don't properly fill in that void underneath with the mud jacking, then that mud could go into that open space where the polyurethane wouldn't. So.
Oh, okay. But once it's once it sets up, the concrete is going to do. Or do they use just like?
But it's not a concrete.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't harden like rock hard solid. It's like putting new protection soil underneath your concrete with mud jacking.
Why don't you just put concrete there?
It doesn't flow through the pumps very well, and be very expensive. You might as well just
Well, how much do they do, like a cubic yard? How much do they do? Or what's a? Oops, oh, sorry.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. What do you think the number one turnoff is when people are complaining? Who do you think gets the most attention? How and why do some complaints go by the wayside? Do you have an effective way of complaining? If so, let us know. We're going to be covering the art of complaining. Truly, over 40 years, I can tell you the people that get attention. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We're on the phone with RV Makeovers to try to figure out why they are arbitrarily throwing out figures. And there doesn't seem to be a contract. This is going to be a problem. That doesn't mean that they just get carte blanche to just charge anything they want. Josh, what's going on with you? Hello, Josh.
Hi, Tom. How are you today?
Good. What's happening with your auto lease?
I have a 2014 Jeep Patriot. It is due to be returned back the end of this month. I have talked with these guys with Chrysler Capital and told them that I would be purchasing the car at the end, which is fine by them and all of that. But I was looking through paperwork and looking at online searches, and there is a recall, an open recall on this. There There's not a solution, so there aren't any parts available or anything like that.
Okay.
But in listening to your show, I understand that dealerships are not allowed to sell cars that have open recalls on them.
That's not true.
It is not.
No,
okay.
not at all.
Is it just new cars that they?
No, there's no such thing. There's nothing, no laws that address recalls. There are cars that they would not be allowed to sell if it was a recall for safety. Now, just wait. Safety where they literally demanded that it be done immediately. In other words, I can't think of any, but I can't think of any. But there is a way to ground all cars. In a particular class, if a safety problem surfaced, but I've never heard of that happening. That's the only time they wouldn't be allowed to sell it.
Okay, all right. So that was my misunderstanding. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Tell me what you're trying to accomplish. Maybe we can help you. It sounds like you just want to get the recall done, but that's your responsibility through the manufacturer's warranty.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's fine. I just wanted to make sure because I decided long ago to purchase the vehicle.
What model is it?
It's the
Patriot. You said.
Yeah, it's a Patriot Latitude. So it's a great car, and I haven't had a single problem with it. But I also have not been keeping with the mileage on the lease because I was going to purchase it.
That's right. When people know they're going to do that, you don't have to worry about it. And I've often told people this is the best way to lease in the world, is to lease, remember, as long as you can. Now, normally you would never do that. If you have a lease for a very long time, you are paying too much for a car. But if you lease a car in the very beginning, you're paying for the depreciation of that car, and you can keep turning it over and getting new cars. But if your goal is to keep a car a long time, then you would take a lease, and you would want the lowest miles allowed on a lease, the lowest miles allowed for the longest period of time, which would look like a stupid lease because you're only allowed to drive, let's say, 10,000. I don't know what the minimum is. I think it's 10,000. But you would literally sign a lease for 10,000 miles a year for 5 years, or if they even had longer leases, you would take the longest you could. Now, under normal circumstances, that would be a crazy lease. That would be an unprofitable lease for you because, you could never keep those terms. But you don't care if you're going to buy it. Then what you do is just drive it, keep it for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, you're buying a used car from yourself. It's just a wonderful system. And then you could even extend that out another 3 years. So you're, in essence, you're keeping a car with low payments for 8 years. If you truly want to do it. Very few people, though, Josh, even though they say they're going to do it, very few people actually do it. But if somebody wanted an exotic sports car and could never afford one, that is the way to do it. You can literally get a lease for a very long time and then get an auto loan at the end of that lease for a very long time and have very, very low payments and get a spectacular car. So do you know what the buyout's going to be on yours?
The buyout is $13,500, and market on it right now is like $15,900.
Isn't that cool?
I'm going to be ahead.
Yeah, you got a good thing going there, Josh. Now, who taught you to do that, or did you just figure it out?
This is my third lease that I have done.
Were you purchased at the end?
Yeah. Yep.
How many years do you lease?
Just the typical 3. I just don't like running. I just don't like.
You could have done it.
Red flag.
Yeah, you could have done it way longer. You could have had even lower payments.
Yep. My job is a little fluid, so I try to keep mine low, but I do that on my wife's side because her mileage is super low.
Yeah.
So she has a 10,000 mile lease right now, and she's, she still clears that by about 2,000 miles a year. So she's going to have a super low mileage car when we buy hers out.
Very cool.
Year.
All right, man. Thank you very much. 303-713-TALK. Yes.
Let's go back to Tony. I got a few questions.
So, here,
I talked to Dusty.
Tony took his his Sprinter van for a makeover. He wanted to make it into a camper, and he takes it over to RV Makeovers. He's expecting to pay around $7,000, even though it's not in writing. There are estimates in writing, but not a full contract. Now it turns out that the guy's going to want additional money that'll bring the total price up to $12,500, and Tony was thinking it was going to be around maybe $8 at tops, but then that's what happened. So hold on, go ahead, Tony.
Hey, Tony, you told, or Dusty's telling me that you knew it was hourly, $125 an hour, and basically
that there was no limit.
And well, not that there was no limit, but there was also estimates bouncing around from $17,000, $14,000, all over the place. So what say you, man?
Okay. When I first went to see him, he was going to supply things like the refrigerator, the furnace,
sure,
the stove, and all that.
What difference would that make when it comes to hourly? What difference does that make?
Well, because he was basically doubling the cost on everything. So,
but what does that have to do with hourly? His hourly rate?
Yeah, no. He told me because it was a prototype, and he was interested in upfitting sprinters for other people in the future. He would do it, and he was not going to charge me on the hourly basis because nobody could afford that.
Okay, if he said he wasn't going to charge you on the hourly basis, how did he say he was going to charge you?
He gave me the estimates
of getting it done.
So like each job had an estimate.
Can you send me the estimate that reflects that $8,000?
It was $7,150
or whatever it is.
Yeah, I can.
Send that to us.
And then is there anything different on that estimate? Because what Dusty also said is you changed your mind a lot and would add things.
He fails to tell you that he had high rates of turnover.
Okay, but
wait a second. He's had high rates of turnover among his employees. Dusty has had health issues that have kept him out of the shop. So he has not been managing the shop.
Here's all I care about.
But you know, Tony, I understand you have a lot of issues, but none of these have anything to do with the core issue.
If it says $7,100 on that estimate, and it gives what they're going to do for $7,100, and you added stuff, you understand that would be higher.
So here's what I want to ask: the stuff outlined on the the stuff outlined on the estimate for $7,150. Okay,
right.
All of that stuff was done, right?
The whole job has been completed.
Here, no, Tony, I don't know why you have a really tough time with very direct, very simple questions. Here, so the answer is yes. So here's what I want to know. If you took a list of everything on the estimate for $7,150, and then you had another list of everything done in addition to that, what would that second list look like? All the stuff done in addition to the stuff on the original estimate. What would that look like?
Well, his list, he's charging me for materials that I paid for.
Okay, so on that second list, which would only include extra stuff not included on the first one, he is charging you for materials.
Like what?
Like what? That you paid for, specifically?
The upholstery materials.
Okay, what else?
The hardware, like hinges and...
hardware, what else? What else?
You know, I paid
for
the 3/4-inch plywood and the maple facing.
Okay, so wood. Okay, so you have upholstery, hardware, wood. What else?
Those type things.
Okay, now, in addition to that, though, are you in agreement with any of those extra charges?
And he's also charging me for a countertop that was supposed to be included. So
okay, hold on. It all boils down to this. I'm just going to say it one more time. See, and this is a prime example of complaining and how not to complain. Here's the bottom line. You have an estimate for $7,150. Here's what we want to know. How much additional stuff is he charging for? And then we start subtracting from that. Okay? You already told me upholstery, hardware, wood, and stuff. Can you prove, Tony, that you already paid for that stuff?
I paid for this in the first estimate.
Can you prove that you paid for the upholstery, hardware, the wood, and all of that?
Oh, yeah, I have all the receipts.
Good. That's what I wanted to hear. All right. Then, Mark, on the second invoice, let's call it a second invoice, the one in addition to $7,150, he should take into consideration what Tony has already paid for. And I still want to delve into what is done in addition to the original right after we talk about this. And I want to say one thing, and one thing only, One Clear Choice Garage Doors. That's the place to call right now if you woke up and you had a broken spring or your garage door isn't working right. He has a great company with all of his prices right on this website, oneclearchoicedoors.com, including new doors for as little as $2.99, fully installed.
They're finally here. Hi, it's Pat Woodard, and this week only Hanson McLean is hosting its free 75-minute retirement workshops in Cherry Creek, Broomfield, Highlands Ranch, and Colorado Springs.
It was in the body, but the phone number was the dominant thing.
That's wonderful.
Also changed your insurance at Walgreens. This was rockin' insurance, $3.
Oh my God! I used to pay a lot.
Yeah, 60 something. So that's rocking. So I was like, yeah, he's gonna be happy about that.
It is great. Thank you for doing that.
I'll put that card on your desk.
Yeah, all of that stuff.
I always say, hey, I hope you don't need him. Joe Lazara is a defense attorney, a criminal defense attorney. That means if you've been stupid and did something, you need him. Sometimes you're not stupid. You're just in the wrong place and you're falsely accused. Sometimes there's a DUI involved. Whatever it is, I'm not going to ask questions, but I will say this. Guilty or innocent, you need to get through the system, and you can't do it without legal representation. Joseph A. Lazara is someone we highly recommend. Of course, we also recommend you stay out of trouble, too. But Joe Lazara can help you. When it comes to DUIs, you have so many things to think about. It's the civil case and the criminal case you have to worry about. He can handle both with you and help you through the system. Joseph A. Lazara. LazaraLegal.com. That's L-A-Z-Z-A-R-A. LazaraLegal.com. Also on my referrals to referralist.com. He'll always do initial consultations complimentary. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. Just because you hear all kinds of commercials from lenders about low rates with terms and fast closings, doesn't mean they're all the same. And is what I want a sure thing. I want ideal home loans for my next ideal home loan. I've represented my home for years for a reason. They do what they say they'll do. Closing, guaranteed in writing. Their rates, guaranteed in writing. Their terms, guaranteed in writing. And that's up front before you even do business with them. They individualize each loan and make sure you get what you need. You're better off than you were before. That's not just the lender, that's the consumer, like me. And isn't that why you listen to this show? Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan.
Every half hour, so do it.
What's that, sir?
The banners and stuff, you want every...
Yeah, I just move them around, and then different hours, different everything. Just for those three. Those are the three bouncers.
So you guys are talking...
It did not like how many words were in that, but I did it anyhow.
Whoa. There were hardly any words.
Yeah, it reads the actual ad. Here's why I think it says that, though. Because generally we're sending those to a landing page.
I'll redo it.
No, I don't want to redo it because I don't know how we would get that point through with any less words. I stared at it. I don't know how else we'd do it.
I think it's standard.
Usually that stuff is for the landing page. But because we're not doing the landing
numbers.
What do you mean?
You're saying the guidelines are for the landing page.
No, the guidelines are generally for
the
banner. But generally the banner, when you click on it, the secondary information would be on there. But we're driving directly to a website.
So we have no place to put that.
So we have no place to move that other stuff. So we'll see how it works out. I think it's going to work out good. It sure seems straightforward. I didn't think it was too many words. But you know how Facebook does it. They simply have a million ads out there, and they know that count. You know what I mean? They know where that line is at.
Mike Campbell here, serial entrepreneur. Small business owners are doing yourself.
To share something.
My business was new.
Chance without that
An attorney.
You want me to switch it off?
Contract.
Next time.
Next version of a contract.
So next time I'll just hold it off. Next break I'll just hold it off. And
yes, you guessed
so we're
it.
not switching
My
back and forth.
contract actually got tested in court. Federal court. Surprisingly, the judge literally said my fifth grade
I don't know how I took these.
contract he had ever seen.
I thought you might need them.
My heart to use it, but I have them.
I know, but mine were on my face.
I got to get done. I really do.
Payroll, however, is my fifth successful company.
Was it effed up for a little bit?
Run payroll.
No, I did.
Oh, I haven't started.
No, I am. When you first get it, like for 2 days, is it all fuzzy or what?
Well, in fact, the reason I didn't have both eyes done is because the right eye, when I had it done, was not. Remember, I told you the distance did not come in for a while. Now I love it. now that this is completely healed, I want to do the left eye, but I was waiting to do the left eye until the right one was completely healed. And then I'll never need glasses. I love, even now, the way I'm seeing. I mean, I hardly ever need, but my left eye is getting worse right now. But the right eye is perfect and will never be affected because it's bionic, basically. It'll never be affected. It's $6 million man. It is so much more permanent than LASIK. It is so much superior. Hello, I'm Tom Martino. You have the Troubleshooter Show. Tell a friend about it. There is a lot of strength in numbers, and there are numbers in strength. So what we need to do is help you help others, and you help me help others, and we all help each other. That's really the theme of the show, help, help, help. And some of that is, you know, really telling you don't have a case if you don't have a case, or telling you do have a case, or going after bad guys. So, Mark, what's your impression of this guy at RV Makeovers? What's your impression of him? Not the legality. What do you think?
He sounded very overwhelmed. And then, of course, the caller said he was having some issues with help, like a lot of people right now. But he seemed overwhelmed. He didn't seem like a rip-off guy. The one thing he kept saying, he said, I got $37,000 in labor. In labor. I'm going, well, what the hell does that mean? Does he value himself? I mean, he's the owner of the company. I don't know where he's going with that. No, what he meant was so much an hour. He kept track of the hours in this van. I understand, meaning he's got 300 hours in it. But Tony said that the guy was anxious to get a prototype under his belt, and he was doing it cheaper. That sounds like a sales pitch. Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to see what this van looks like. Tony, can you Tony, oh, he doesn't have the van. Ask the guy if we can come over and look at the van. He's not going to care if I come over. I do got a quick question for Devin. Hey, Devin. Concrete lift and stabilization. Listen, all this rain, I don't know about all the listeners out there, but in my house, some of the sidewalk is a little off. I just noticed this, where you walk down my steps into my backyard, that's a little off. And then my patio, when it was raining, I'm not positive, but it might be sloped the wrong way. Do you go out, do you give free estimates on that? Because we moved into this house about a year ago, and I started thinking, every year people should get out there and walk their house. There's too much cement, the patio, the front porch. If any of that sloped towards the house, I could be looking at big-time stuff. Is that a free estimate is what I'm asking you, though?
Absolutely.
So in any area around listening, they can just call you, and boom, you come out, you'll give them a price. And I got to ask you this because I'm straightforward. Is it crazy if I need a couple steps lifted? I mean, is that thousands upon thousands? I mean, what are we talking?
No, generally we are in the hundreds. I mean, on an average residential lift, we're around in the $600.
In free estimate.
And now here's what I want to know, though. Does it last?
Yes. If it's done right. We do it right.
So it fills in the voids and it lasts.
And coming up, I want to know the difference between the plastic and the mud jacking. But I want to get to, speaking of RVs, Chuck has an RV problem. Go ahead, Chuck. What's happening? Chuck, are you there? I hear somebody on the line. Chuck. Charles.
Yes.
What's going on with you, sir? What's happening?
Colorado Springs, I'm down here.
Yeah.
I bought a used RV that needs a lot of work, but the gentleman gave me a bill of sale. He was supposed to supply the title at the sale, but he said he couldn't find it and all that, so I moved this RV, and now he's not supplying me the title.
Did he say, is the title lost?
No, he said he claims he has it and all that.
Well, here's the first thing we need to do, Chuck, before anything, and you need to do this. You need to take the VIN and you need to do a search on it to see who owns it and make sure he owned it.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Now, if you don't do that, we don't know where to go. Now, if he owns it, then we go for a lost title. If he doesn't own it, then we got a big problem. What did you pay for that?
Well, only $800 for it. Like I said, it's got a lot of work to be done.
$800?
Yeah, real cheap. I don't want to steal.
Well, what is it? What kind of RV?
Sounds like a rolling turd.
Yeah, what kind of RV is it?
Actually, it's about a 27-foot fifth wheel slide with a living room slide out on it, and everything works in it. And
Hold on a
it's
second.
Pretty clean inside.
Hold on a second. 27-foot fifth wheel. What make is it?
It's I'm not sure exactly. It's called a Savannah, but I'm not sure.
So you're telling me you paid $800 and it's clean inside?
Yeah, well, he's got some, he ain't got some furniture. I had to fix the toilet and all that in it.
What's wrong with it?
There's no carpeting in it.
Does it run?
Like, let's say, what would it take? What would $5,000 make that perfect?
Probably 2 to 3.
2 to 3,000?
Hey, send us a picture.
Yeah, send us a picture. I gotta see it. And I want to know, how old is it?
It's a 95.
You may have made it's a fifth wheel.
Oh, okay.
So you may have made the purchase of the Century.
No, my wife actually. She does a lot of times. The one we were living in, because we're living in this, we got for $250 from a storage yard that someone didn't pay their storage on. We got that guy let us buy it for that much.
$800 would pay for the tires. Did they have good tires?
Yeah, tires are good, not flat or anything like that.
All right, bro.
Yeah,
please send us, for the hell of it, can you snap a picture and send it to us?
I'm at work right now.
Can you have your wife do it?
I can call her and try to...
I would love... Please do it. Chuck, please do it. Listen, do a VIN search and call us back.
I can do that.
All right, you can call us back 24/7 at 303-MARTINO.
I bet it's ugly. I bet it's ugly as sin. What do you think?
I don't know, man.
$800?
$800.
I bet it's ugly.
Chris?
Yes, sir.
What's going on in your life?
Well, I need some advice.
Okay.
I bought a boat motor online. Came out of Kentucky. Paid for the shipping.
Now, was this used?
Yes.
Okay.
It was 2009.
A 2009, and it was an outboard motor. What size?
Yes, sir. 250.
A 250, and what kind?
Yep. Mercury.
Okay, they're nice motors. So what's how many hours on it?
About 1,000. I was needing to replace a motor that was already on my boat.
Okay.
And just wanted to get another used motor because we don't use them a whole lot out here. But anyway, so I pay the guy for the motor. He puts it on a freight line, sends it out here. I watch the tracking. It goes Kentucky to Kansas City to Denver, over the course of about 3 days. And then it sits in Denver for 4 days on a trailer. So I called down there, and the lady tells me, we have it down here, and the driver's already left for the day. It's not going to get shipped today up to Berthoud and to the Marine that I had it sent to. And then she tells me, well, I can get it there today, but you're going to have to pay more money. And, of course, I kind of threw a little bit of a fit. And long story short, she got it up there in the afternoon, which I was happy with. So I get off of work, and I go to the Marine to check it out. And you could see the box and the pallet had been run over by a forklift.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
The motor was run over?
Yeah.
Like literally run over?
They backed into the motor with a forklift and knocked it off the pallet. And you could see a tire track up on the pallet, on the box. The motor was shoved sideways on the pallet.
Was it damaged?
It didn't fall off.
Was it
yeah.
How badly is it damaged?
Well, initially looking at it, you could see where the box had rubbed the cowling. And it was.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is it just cowling damage, or did they get into the block, or did they get into the shaft?
Yeah, and that's where I'm headed with it.
Tell us right now, though. Just get right to the part. Is it really damaged?
Right. So there was obviously exterior damage to the motor, the cowling, the midsection.
Does it run?
Well, yes, it does.
Does it run well? I mean, in other words, is it a piece? Does it look terrible? Because, I mean, you don't have to accept this. Hold on, let's just come back to you. You don't have to accept this. This sucks. This whole thing sucks. Poor guy was trying to get something done. Wink and Wink are bankruptcy attorneys I hope you never need, and I really mean that, but they do help with it, Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. If unforeseen circumstances have gotten you caught in debt and you need a fresh start, 303-410-1720, winkandwink.com.
A good shutdown would help make this country's wallet great again. Believe me. It would also make time for a nice trip down to Mar-a-Lago. Play a little golf, have a beautiful meal. Terrific. To make your wallet great again, never shut down your radio, okay?
Listen to win $1,000 every hour on the hour. Every weekday from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Of all the wallets, mine is obviously the greatest.
$1,000.
But yours could be pretty good too, okay?
On 630 KHOW.
This report is brought to you by the City of Aurora.
There's a couple of trouble spots on the west end of town. There's still that ramp crash northbound 285 to westbound C470. They're trying to upright an overturned semi-trailer. No estimated time when the ramp will reopen. Also, watch out for a crash on Highway 6 on the west side between tunnels 1 and 2. That involves a truck as well. Back in town, southbound I-25, still a heavy downtown south of I-70. Southbound 225, stop and go in that typical spot on the approach to I-25. The weather forecast, sunny mixed with clouds today and thunderstorms possible later on with a high near 73. Right now, sunny and 64. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 KHOW.
Ready to make your move from your first home to your forever home? Aurora has options in livable, lovable neighborhoods at prices that don't sting and a thriving cultural scene with amazing local restaurants and microbreweries. Explore the possibilities. Visit AuroraWorthDiscovering.com.
I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. It's finally time for some spring cleaning, so let's get those back tax issues cleaned out once and for all. Feel the fresh spring breeze without the mental burden of a tax lien or the IRS knocking at your door. If you owe back taxes, been years since you filed, or you've been slapped with an audit, it's time to get relief. Larson Tax Relief. I know Ron and Jack Larson and can vouch for their professionalism, and they don't judge, but they do handle the IRS or state for you. Larson Tax Relief. Their name says it all. Relief. I trust Ron and Jack Larson and their team of experts to get you the absolute best possible resolution. Get your issues cleaned up once and for all. 844-LARSON TAX. Get your life back and those worries gone. LarsonTaxRelief.com or 844-LARSON-TAX. That's 844-LARSON TAX. Larson Tax Relief is the only tax relief organization I endorse on myreferralist.com.
The Stem Cell Institute of America is coming to Denver. If you're suffering with pain from osteoarthritis of the knee, pain in your low back, neck, shoulders, hips, or even suffer with joint pain, stop and listen. These are must-attend stem cell therapy educational seminars. You'll find solutions for your pain, along with cutting-edge information that could really help change the way you live. With seminars in Denver, the Tech Center, Littleton, Boulder, and the far suburbs including Fort Collins, so you're just a short drive to one of their seminars on regenerative medicine. You need to attend one of these seminars. It could be a life-changing experience. Call 888-628-1899 to register for one of the upcoming seminars. For more information, visit StemCellTherapyForPain.com. That's StemCellTherapyForPain.com. Start living life once again. Call 888-628-1899 to register for one of the upcoming seminars. That's 888-628-1899.
Join us every Sunday at 9 a.m. for This Dream House. We discuss all the different ways to make your current home into your dream home. I'm host Kevin Draco, and each week I'll invite special guests in to talk about all the different ways to make your dream house come true. That's Sundays at 9 a.m. on 630 KHOW.
Hey, Dad, ready for golf?
Hi, son. I'm not sure I'm going to make it today. My arthritis is acting up this morning.
Dad, have you tried Blue Emu?
Have I tried what?
Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Relief. Works fast, penetrates deep, relieves pain in your achy muscles and joints.
But I don't want to smell like a medicine chest.
You won't. Blue Emu's non-greasy and odor-free.
In that case, let's play 36 today.
Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Relief. Beat the pain and enjoy life. Available at Walmart and Walgreens.
ADT presents What to Consider When Considering Home Security. An ADT sign is more than a sign. It's a line in the sand. On one side, your family. On the other, an uncertain world.
For over 140 years, more people have chosen ADT to help prevent crime than anyone else. Get ADT starting at just $28.99 a month.
Tested, trusted, proven ADT.
With 36-month contract for licensing and terms and conditions, visit ADT.com.
Denver's talk station. Online at KHOW.com.
Hi, Tom Martino. Welcome to the show dedicated to helping you Make sure you talk about what we talk about to keep you from getting ripped off. 303-713-TALK. We have some open lines for the first time today. 303-713-8255. Someone lied to you, cheated, ripped you off, or you just need advice, let us know. If you want to get your pound of flesh, you can do that here, too. I don't mind you getting digital revenge, especially when people put on reviews online that are sneaky. You know, anonymity of the Internet give people all kinds of power. In fact, anonymity on the Internet, and that doesn't mean you don't use your name. Even people that use their name, you know, and write these toxic emails, it is in a bit anonymous. You're not touching, you're not looking at someone face-to-face. Half the time you'd never say these things to someone face-to-face, but you hide like a coward behind email. And I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about people who do it. And then this cyberbullying. So if you want to get revenge, call me. 303-713-TALK. Chris wants to talk about his damaged motor. And man, this is terrible. He buys a motor, and it's damaged in shipment or freight or sitting. There is a question overall I want to address, and this is really important. Really, really important. And that is, who owns the motor? Is it his problem because he didn't deliver it to you and you didn't get it, or is it your problem because you owned it and it was damaged? That always is the legal issue if ever we want to take one, and that is, when did it transfer to you and when is it your situation? But without getting to that, let's just hear the rest of your story. Sure. What happened to your motor? It was damaged. Then what?
Right. So I had the Marine go ahead and the only way that they were able to check it mechanically is to hang it on the boat. So I contacted the freight company again. They set up an inspection, a third-party inspector to come up and look at it. She did. I met them there. She looked at it. Obviously, it was damaged. She wrote out a report. Said she'll send it in to him. I should hear. Yeah,
well, what's the bottom line? Who is she sending it to? The shipper? Who?
Yeah, she's sending it back to the freight company to look into. So 2 weeks goes by. I was supposed to hear from them. I never did. I got a hold of them again, and the lady says, "Well, you never filed a claim." I said, "Well, nobody ever told me I had to file a claim. You set up the inspection, not me." And so,
wait a minute. So you called them and said it was damaged, and they set up an inspection, but now they're saying you never filed a claim.
That's correct.
So how long ago was it?
That's now been 3 weeks ago.
Are they saying it's too late to file a claim?
Well, they have said that. And then...
Well, hold on. Why is it too late?
Well, apparently, if you don't decline the shipment at the time that it arrives and show it as damaged, then it's
okay.
Your baby.
Okay. I can't. That's kind of misleading. They said you didn't file a claim, but yet you called them about it being damaged. So where does it stand right now? I don't want a lot of detail. Just what are they saying? Are you out? Just totally out?
Yes.
Okay.
I did the claim like they wanted me to do. I had to fill out and fax in a claim form.
And what did they say? No?
Well,
it's rejected?
Yeah.
And on what basis is it rejected?
So they declined it both times.
Based on what?
Even after the report.
Based on what, Chris?
Based on the year of the motor, it should show wear and tear, being an 8-year-old motor.
Okay, so they did not decline it, Chris, based on it being a late filed claim.
That's correct.
Then that's a non-issue. Good. That's a non-issue.
That's not an issue.
Here's the issue. They're saying that this motor is not being covered for what reason? Give me the reason without the story. What's the reason?
The reasons are the age of the motor, that there was also a forklift on site at the Marine, so it could have happened at the Marine.
Well, what does the age of the motor have to do with it could have happened at the Marina?
I do not know.
Because, Chris, I don't think that's what they're saying. You're mixing reasons. I need to know. They said because of the age of the motor, there was a forklift there. That's the reason.
That was two of the reasons.
Can you? Okay, good. One was the age of the motor, so naturally it's going to be old. The second was it could have happened at the Marina. What's the next one?
Right. Yep.
What's the next one?
They said that it should have been claimed at the time that the driver dropped it off.
That doesn't matter at this point, but...
Right. And so yesterday, I talked to the gentleman that did the claim, that declined the claim in person.
Yeah.
And he treated me like...
crap.
Garbage.
Okay.
And
Chris,
I could not get a word in edgewise.
Let's just get right to it. They owe you for damage, and they're not going to pay it because they're basically saying it was old anyway. So let's examine this. Is it worth going after? First and foremost, what will it cost to truly fix it, Chris? Is it trashed or not? Just between you and I. I mean, not what you're going to tell them. Between you and me. I mean, what do you think? Is it damaged or not?
No, it's usable.
Okay, but is it only cosmetic that you're upset about?
Well, yes.
Okay, then hold on. Okay, I'm just trying to get some straight answers. I'm not trying to make your case to them. You're not talking to them. You're talking to me. Let's see what we can do about it. Because I think they might be thinking it's way more damage than there is. And maybe you want way too much. Let's just talk about it practically coming up. Along with concrete lift and stabilization, we have a lot to talk about. Listen, you never know what you're going to learn. John, hang on. We'll get to you. Corey, Chris, all of you, stick around. Russell. I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. It's finally time for some
spring cleaning, so let's get those back tax issues cleaned out once and for all. Feel the fresh spring breeze.
Oh, this guy's driving.
Or the IRS.
Just listen.
I blocked that other guy.
No, just go to the email I just sent you and Dad. Just hit the link and do it so you understand how it works.
What are you talking about?
Our digital contract. I want you to actually see how it works so you understand.
Or state for you.
I understand how it's done.
No,
is this the one from John?
Yes, this is all I don't understand where he's missing it. I have no idea.
What is he missing?
Well, that's why I want you to do one right now. Just fill it in with the fake company name, but use your real email. It takes you 30 seconds. Just click on the link. Just said.
Mark, can I ask you something?
Yes.
Is he saying he sent the link to them and then he washes his hands of it? That's what he's saying, right?
I don't know what he's saying.
Well, what are they saying?
None of the info has ever been filled out on those three companies. I go directly into e-signature.
And he is saying they have filled them out. Is that what he's saying?
That's what he's saying. Actually, he's saying he's filled them out.
Okay. Is he? I never heard him say that.
I just want you to see how it works, so you understand. It's so just appease me and go through the flow.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay. Just make up test company, but use your real email.
Why a test company?
You can use any company you want. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, if I see the word test when I go through the database, I delete it.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says President Trump may have badly damaged U.S.
He said if you are going to go out and look at it, to have someone he'd like to go with, because he did a lot of work himself.
As the world turns.
He put in the propane and I don't know, some other stuff. I didn't have time for it.
I'd like to get a look at this.
That sounds like a cool thing to do. Is one of those dams.
Turn a sprinter into it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a diesel, right? All those spinners are diesel, right?
Yeah.
So, 300,000 miles.
When you put the phone number in, just type it in, 303-555-1212. Whatever. I don't care what phone number you use. You don't have to put dashes or any of that shit.
The surrounding buildings, striking both buildings and setting them on fire.
So when you come on down and you got a big truck, big pump truck, like a big concrete pumper?
No, it's a big truck, holds all of the mix. And
that's odd. Street number and street
through a conveyor.
Okay, I get it. It's
the way that e-signature does it. Because you want to put the whole thing there. No, you can abbreviate. Yeah, but I can do a drop down.
There's a hose that comes off.
But it's still brainless here.
Well, we've got a long one, but we generally use a 6-foot long hose.
And it's got the pump actually has to go then.
Yeah, so the pump has to go near the area.
So you don't have those big pump jacks that kind of go over the house or something?
Nothing like that. Just a mobile little pump.
Hey there, computer. Going to work.
So depending on the size of the project, you have to take several trips back and forth, mix more material, mix more.
How about the poly? Do they mix the same way? Or?
No, the poly just
close from the truck. So we've got a 200-foot hose. Yeah. A lot less labor with the poly than
I like that it tells you that. I'll try to push Paul. From the top down, they believe
depending on the size of the job. But yeah, any indoor jobs, I'm always pushing poly.
Okay, now come over here just real quick. Here's what John gets.
Yeah, because the mud is
when he sends the link, that was my link I sent you. He sends his own. He gets this. He chooses link. He sees all your information right here. Okay. He comes down here and basically.
Because you get a lot of homes that are
there's one other step here because it's my link. His link looks just like this now.
Yeah. So the heavy rains that we got.
Do I get an email saying you've signed it?
Okay. You watch. This is what he gets. What I just showed you is different because I'm the admin. But here's what John sees. He clicks the link. He comes here, hits the date of agreement. He comes down here and he goes, intro. Yes. The intro would begin 05/16/2017 to what? 08 to 08/16/2017 in the amount of $0 due on the first of each month.
Let's bring him in here and sit him right down.
Well, this is so simple though. Month to month. So after the intro, they're month to month, which would begin 08.
I'm going to write him right now. You gotta come out. Sit down.
Well, hold on. Before you write them, watch this. Just on the first. Okay, now look. I hit submit.
In the wintertime, it goes up.
Now check your email.
He says he's already done it and sent it back to him.
One little area.
Check your email.
About a half inch.
But isn't that possible, Mark?
No, because there's no trace of it.
Yeah, in the winter
there's no trace of it.
Just going to get snow moisture and stuff.
Moisture, yeah.
Is that the new one you got? Okay, so now you're the customer. Now all you got to do is go down
and try to drain away.
No, you got to go out. You got to fill in. This is the last part. You got to fill in the credit card information.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So
and then you after you fill that in.
How do they know when this comes back to them what to do?
And I'm glad I did that for when we got.
Does it come in an email or just a link, Mark?
It's right here. They scroll down.
No, Mark. If I got this, I wouldn't know what to do. I'm going to be honest with you.
Please click on the link and sign the contract.
Okay, and I don't know anything fucking about it. Is what I'm saying. It doesn't say you have filled out a contract. I'm telling you, it looks like the contract's here. I think that when they get this, they may not know what to do because I do 5
or 10 of them.
Okay, well, Mark, would it be wrong to have this go out with some higher pressure, lower volume? Thank you for signing up for the referral list. You're only 2 steps away. Fill out credit card and sign contract.
Yeah, but we can add whatever you want, but don't forget, at this point, I've already been talking to the person.
I think it would be, if I hit that link, Mark, I'm only trying to, I'm really trying to tell you that I would come down here and sign it, and I would
You can't sign it yet.
Yeah, you know, and
until you fill in that info, you can't sign it.
What does it say when you try?
Go ahead and try.
No one uses
whatever. Does it say fill out credit card?
No one does.
Yeah, you have to.
It'll say there's
I don't know exactly what it says.
Is it possible to make this email? Can I put some text in it?
Yeah, it's not.
That's all I'm asking.
Why do they put it?
I'm not saying that's why John did it.
It's really dry out material.
But you got to understand, I've already talked to my clients at this time, saying I'm going to send this to you. Here's what you need to do.
But he's not.
Right.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome. We are here to help you. That's what we do each and every day. We are live all over the place. Thanks to iHeartRadio. You can hear us all over the country. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Just look for us, please. Troubleshooter Network on YouTube, referral list on Facebook, and also live, of course, on the radio and on iHeartMedia, which if you go to iHeartRadio and download that app, not only can you listen to us, you can listen to any radio station in any market, anywhere. You can even save favorites and program your own radio station. It's iHeartRadio. It's pretty cool. Today we have a guest, Devin. He's with us. Devin Johns, he owns Concrete Lift and Stabilization. We were talking about that company. And he's just in to say hi. If you ever have any questions on that, give us a call. As I said before, most people with concrete have problems, unfortunately, because of this country. I mean, this part of the country. Let's talk, okay? We're going to go to the phones right now. 303-713-TALK. Or if you call 303-MARTINO, you'll get right through if we're on the air. If not, you leave a message. We'll get back to you. Corey's got a comment right now on recalled vehicles and selling. A guy asked me, is it illegal to sell a car with a recall? And I said, no, it's not illegal. He has a comment on that. Corey, go ahead.
Hey, Tom. Love the show.
Thank you.
I work at a dealership here in the Springs.
Yes.
And what you were saying was, pretty much true. If it's got a recall, it's not that bad. But like you said, in certain cases with like safety issues,
right?
The manufacturer will issue a stop sale. If it's a big enough issue, and then that means any vehicles on the lot that have that recall can't be sold until it's completed.
Did you know that?
Did they do that for, like, the airbags? I don't think they did, and that's about as safety as you get. You can blow your own head up or blow a chunk of shrapnel right through your chest.
I didn't hear about that. So, Corey, they put a stop sale on the affected models. That's pretty cool. That's good to know.
Yeah, because some of the newer Civics that came out were having issues with the pistons in the engine, and it would cause the engine to seize or blow up. And so they had to put a stop sale on all VINs that had that certain particular model. So, yeah, they couldn't sell it until that recall was complete.
But that's not a legal thing. That's the manufacturer doing it.
Yeah, so the manufacturer will hand down the stop sale if they think it's a big enough issue.
But consumers still have to help themselves and avail themselves of Carfaxes and also all kinds of internet searches before they buy, because there is no law that would actually stop it or give you the right to rescind that deal. So don't just assume you can get out of a contract. Don't assume that. You get into trouble thinking that. And there's no 3 days. There's nothing. Don't assume it. Chris, what? Your boat motor. We're back to. Okay.
Yes.
Here's the deal. By the way, our number 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You can get right through. Okay. Your motor was sent. It was damaged. What's the name of the freight carrier?
YRC Freight Company.
YRC, and they say that they're not gonna cover this because they don't believe they did the damage. They believe it was too old. Yeah. It was a 95. It was old. I mean 2009. I'm sorry, 2009. And they said it's obviously going to show some wear, but I don't know what wear they're talking about. So here's what I need to know. I need to know if you have any photos you can send us.
Yes, I have before and after photos.
That's what I want.
Before it was sent and after it was sent. I also have the phone number for the guy that was a claims adjuster that I talked to yesterday. That was a. And
you're saying that the motor runs, and it's not an issue of mechanics.
I haven't had it out yet, and I had one of the.
But remember this, Chris. Chris, this is a 2009 engine with 1,000 hours on it. What we have to know, you have to have it inspected. You have to have it inspected to see if there's any mechanical damage as a result of this accident. That's what you have to do. You can't just say, I haven't had it out yet, I don't know. You need to have it inspected. Whatever they do to inspect it. Did it damage anything mechanically? If your engine doesn't run right, you can't blame it on this accident unless there's an actual direct connection. Now, as far as the cosmetics, it's pretty easy. The damn thing's all scratched up. If it's cracked, if the cowling is cracked, well, that's pretty obvious, right? So that's going to be easy. However, how much is this to fix? What if you can pick up a used cowling somewhere or it's not that much? Then you're going through all this trouble for nothing. How much do you think it's going to cost to fix it?
The cowling is unavailable, but it costs $2,000.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
And another one of the reasons that they're declining my claim is because the motor was removed from the pallet and hung on the boat. So they told me it could have happened during that time.
Well, you did kind of jump the gun there doing that.
Well, the way the Marines work is you get in a line, and when your number's called, you get your boat in there and they fix it. If I would have had to wait around on it, laying on a pallet, then I would have got put back at the end of the line, and I probably wouldn't have seen my boat for another 2 months. So,
what do you mean they fix it? What do you mean they fix it?
Checked, I had to have it on the boat.
Oh, so
and that's what I tried to explain.
Chris, I think it's too far gone. I mean, without some kind of diagnostics, it's too far gone. I mean, you're gonna go for the cosmetic damage. I think all you have to do is prove it was there. And what do you want? Do you want a price adjustment? What do you want?
Well, and that's what I was calling you.
What do you want?
I mean,
I would add.
I would be satisfied with getting my shipping costs back. It was $500.
Okay, I think you got to come up with you have to come up with a damage. Obviously, it's not new, so to ask for a new cowling would be wrong, but it's not. There's nothing wrong with asking, oh, by the way, can a body shop fix the cowling? Is it fiberglass?
Yeah, they can.
How much would it cost to fix?
$1,000.
Then that's what I would go for, $1,000.
Have the cracks repaired and it painted.
I would do $1,000. Now, where are they out of, this freight company?
Well, the Overland Park, Kansas is the number that I got from the claims department. They're nationwide.
I understand.
Roadway.
I would go for the $1,000 to fix it in a body shop. That's what I would do.
This guy won't even talk to me.
Well, we're going to call him, okay? Get the information.
I would appreciate that.
We will call him. Dan, I think Deputy Dan ought to call. Dan, I think it's not unreasonable for him to ask for it to be repaired. And he has before and after pictures. How do they know it didn't happen at the marina? Because do you have pictures right when it was offloaded? Yeah. That's why we have a timestamp photo right when it was offloaded. Let's see what we can do. I believe you have a good case. 303-713-TALK. You can get right through if you call in now. Problems, questions, complaints. Someone lied to you, cheated you, or ripped you off. We want to hear about it. Now, as far as follow-ups, we want to get to some follow-ups. All right. I mentioned at the beginning of the show, way at the beginning of the show, about Springs Auto and Truck Service Center, where they did a Sprinter van, they did a turbo, and basically ruined the engine because they did the installation wrong. So, we are going to sue them. What's going on with that?
We are moving along very quickly. Ryan Wood met with an independent inspector at Mercedes, who actually ended up repairing the vehicle properly, I should say, yesterday.
What did it cost the guy to fix this?
He ended up paying Mercedes $16,000 and change.
Okay.
Plus he paid that other company $4,500 plus.
Any betterment, you think, on this?
You know, insurance companies, I have a feeling here's what's going to happen. They're going to come back, they're going to take full fault because it is their client's fault, and I think he's going to get a check for probably $16,000, $17,000, maybe a little downtime. I think he's going to be made whole.
Okay. So, we're progressing nicely on that.
Very quickly.
Now we'll talk about Bentley Baths in a minute. Gwen, what's going on with you? Hello, Gwen.
Hi there.
What's happening, Gwen?
Well, I hired a landscaper to...
It's a terrible industry, man. I mean, Gwen, it's terrible. What's happening?
You mean terrible as far as...
Oh, as far as most of them... No, not most of them. A good number of them are rip-offs.
Well, I believe that this guy he's a crafter. I believe he's very good at what he does.
Okay, good.
He's had many problems over the last 6 weeks. 6 weeks ago, we hired him, and I gave him money, and I gave him $800, and he was going to tear up our little backyard. We live in a patio home. He's going to tear up our little backyard, put in flagstone, and build a stone wall.
How much was that going to cost you?
Total, it was going to be over $5,000.
Okay, what I want to know is how much is done?
I would say a little bit of the like 50%,
60%?
No. I'd say 1/8%.
Oh, 1/8 has been done.
I'd say 20%, 25%.
Okay.
And I paid.
That would be a quarter, but okay. Let's say...
Yeah, okay.
But let's say about 20%, 25%. So what is he doing about it? Anything?
He gives me excuses. He
What's the name of the guy?
His name is... oh, gosh, if I can pronounce his last name. It's Arcadio Jaramillo, Jaramillo. He's had a lot of car problems, truck problems. He's had problems with the weather. Bottom line is he hasn't shown up for 4 weeks, and I paid him over almost $4,000.
Okay, well, I don't know why you keep paying him. What's the name of the company?
Well, I paid him. It's AJ Landscaping. I don't know why I did either. I paid him.
Gosh, I mean, you got to stop. Is he still showing up every day to do the job?
No, I paid him on April 15th I paid him a check of $2,100.
And what happened?
And that brought up the...
And then you haven't seen him since?
And I haven't seen him since.
All right, hold on. Same old story, folks. I hear it over and over and over, and it makes me sad. It makes me sick. It makes me angry. What does it make you? By the way, Jim, Jim, you got to comment on that boat quickly. Go ahead. I want to take a break. What is that comment you have?
Yeah, my comment is that I've worked in that freight industry for many years, and it's a Teamster-driven thing. The first thing is that whenever a delivery is made, that should be made on the freight bill, not on the freight bill.
I get, Jim. I get you. He did everything wrong. You are preaching to the choir on that, Jim. Honest to goodness. Thank you, though. Yes, he did everything wrong. Now we got to try to at least convince them it was like that when he got it. ApprovalReverse.com. Remember that URL, okay? ApprovalReverse.com for reverse mortgages from Joan Sullivan and her team. The best. Why do I say that? Because they're the ones who will tell you if it won't fit your circumstances. But it can be a very valuable retirement tool for many. 303-771-3528. ApprovalReverse.com.
Sorry. I'm going to work on all things Mark Digital. I'm going to keep growing and growing on all fronts. That's really my goal. So, Devin, what is the number one reason people do not buy once they get in touch with you? And once you do, or if you meet with them, tell me the number one thing.
Probably costs.
Okay. Why is that? Did they not expect it to be that much?
It's the craziest thing, because I've gone and done an estimate for $300, and people say that's way too much.
Well, that's ridiculous.
I mean, and then, of course, there are some of those jobs where it's $3,000, $4,000, $5,000.
As opposed to though replacing the damn.
But yeah, tens of thousands. Yeah.
That's okay. So it always comes down to cost. Do a lot of people undersell you?
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of new companies out right now. Can't believe their prices. You know, I don't know how
they're insurance and all that other stuff they don't carry.
Yeah, probably.
When you can go to Neo Kids Dentistry and New Orthodontics, listen, the emphasis on New Orthodontics is the only system I know of that addresses the root causes of crooked teeth, amplifiers, tongue placement, mouth breathing, jaw alignment, muscular problems, and the overall palate. Dr. Kent Lawson has treatments that include progressive soft molds for your mouth and face. Then you prevent crooked teeth altogether and sometimes never need braces. When you do need braces, it's a short time compared to conventional treatment. Isn't it worth consulting at least Neo Kids Dentistry and New Orthodontics? You bet! 303-690-0400. 303-690-0400. And look for Neo Kids Dentistry and the New Orthodontics on my referral list at referrallist.com. Dr. Kent Lawson, 303-690-0400. Never know how.
That's not heavy metal music. Or the sound of a stray cat fight. It's your car's not-so-subtle way of saying, head to Napa for new brake pads and rotors and get up to a $50 rebate by mail. So don't confuse for anything other than new brakes and $50 back by mail. That's Napa Know-How. Napa Know-How. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 5/31/17.
Why do I prefer Ideal Home Loans? Let me count the ways. 1, their interest rate guaranteed. If rates go down over the next 2 years, they refinance you free of lender fees. 2, pick your term. Get your low rates, but you don't have to start over. 5, 10, 13, 18 years, you choose. 3, credit optimization. Even if you're approved, they can make small tweaks to your credit to get you even lower rates and fees. 4, pre-approval. It's like a cash deal when you make an offer. All you need is an appraisal. 5, 3-week closes, and everything is guaranteed in writing. I could go on and on and on, but I have a show to do. Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan. 303-867-7000. IdealHomeLoans.com.
Ideal Home Loans is regulated by the Division of Real Estate, NMLS number 136756. Call 303-867-7000. Example based on $250,000 loan amount, 32% DTI, 740 credit score, owner-occupied financing, 80% loan to value.
Ideal Home Loans also on my referral list at referrallist.com. 303-867-7000.
Hanson McLean Advisors. Find them at hansonmclean.com.
Time to clean carpets, and I know who I'll call. Zero Res. The ones who cleaned my carpets before, time and time again, because I've never had cleaner, fresher carpets. No sticky residue. That's because when Zero Res cleans carpets, they get them really clean with their patented empowered water. No soaps, harsh chemicals, or detergents. Right now, Zero Res is offering 3 rooms spray-treated, cleaned, and sanitized for just $124. In some cases, additional fees may apply. In some cases, additional fees may apply. When I walk on my carpets after Zero Res, they feel like new, and I never have to worry about dangerous toxins left behind. Call now and get really clean carpets with Zero Res. 3 rooms, pre-treated, cleaned, and sanitized, $124. 303-471-5150. 3 rooms, $124. 303-471-5150 or ZeroResDenver.com. 471-5150 or ZeroResDenver.com.
Your shot at $1,000 now. Text the word money to 200-200. You'll receive a confirmation text. Standard messages battery apply. That's money to 200-200.
I'm going to call that thing after the guy at the show, the freight guy, because he's going to send me the report and everything. So I put him on the line.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. In the studio, concrete lift and stabilization. If you have any questions on that, it's landscaping season, as Gwen knows, and she had a problem. You know, it's such a terrible feeling when you're paying people and you're just not getting work done. It's such a terrible problem, and it's so pervasive. Now, you know what she said, though, that was interesting? He's a good craftsman. You know how many people are good at what they do?
That's it. I was going to say, she seems to like them.
They're good at what they do, but not at running a business. How many of you out there are good at what you do, but you don't know how to run a business? And it's terrible for the consumer, and it's terrible for you. Hey, Gwen?
Yes.
When's the last time you heard from him? Is when you paid him April 15th?
I paid him on April 15th, and I didn't hear from him until Saturday. He showed up, but he claimed he was sick. I think he'd been drinking.
This past Saturday?
This past Saturday. He showed up and did about three hours worth of work.
He did 3 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
So if someone looked at your job, just wait a minute. If someone looked at your job, what would they say you got in value about, just objectively?
If they looked at it, they'd say I probably have about $700 worth of work.
What?
And that's on the high side. And that's on the high side.
Yet you paid $4,000.
Yes. I have paid a total of $3,940.
$4,000.
So over 3 time periods, I paid him on April.
Why do you keep paying him, though?
I don't know. But after the last time I paid him, then he never came back. But I've been in communication with him the whole time. He's been calling me back. He's been saying
I think we should call him and scare him and say, look, under the Contractors Trust Act, we can have you put in jail. Make your decision. Get the frickin' job done. I mean, now it's time. Now it's time, Gwen. Now it's time. Just you make up your mind. Let's give him the call of death. I'll do it. I mean, you know, I can't do it while I'm on the air, but we need to call him and say, look, under the Contractors Trust Act, we're going to try to get you prosecuted. Okay? Arcadio, Larmillo, what's his name? She said Jarmillo. Jello? Isn't it, is it Yarmillo? Is that what it is?
I would say it Armillo, but I'm not good at that stuff, Tom.
Did you say Yarmillo?
I said Armillo.
Harmillo. It's J's the Y or H. I don't know. I always confuse myself.
Oh.
But anyway, here's the thing. Yeah, it's an H. So let's talk. Why is this happening? Why is it happening? Is this problem with the concrete contractor? Gary, what's going on with you? What's going on?
I'm having some problems with the concrete company. Just a second here. Let me get you up.
Yeah. Man.
I'm having problems with the concrete company.
What's the problem?
Well, I had them out here to do the concrete work, and About a year ago. Actually, yeah, it's just been about a year now.
What did they do, a slab or what?
They actually did quite a bit. They
Like
did
what?
A front porch, complete driveway tear
When you
out.
say a front porch, do you mean like the whole big giant porch?
Yeah, actually an extended porch.
Now, when they do that porch, Devin is with Concrete Lift and Stabilization. They don't do that solid concrete. They build up kind of like a dirt pile and then form it in, right?
Yep.
And then they put some rebar and then pour some cement, right?
Yeah,
or
sometimes
concrete.
not even do rebar. But.
Okay, but then so they have what looks like a block of concrete, but it's basically walls and a top over some dirt. And then they do. Oh, so they did the porch and what else?
Complete driveway tear out.
They did stairs. They did a driveway. What else? Patio.
No.
Did they
patio.
do a sidewalk?
Well, they moved the sidewalk. I had my driveway extended over in order to create a...
Okay, so basically, did they pour new sidewalks?
Yes.
Okay, so they have walkways. So you have porch, stairs, driveway, and walkways. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, and of that job, what's the problem?
I have... the driveway is sectioned out in about 5 by 5 squares. And I have one square...
Which is not a bad idea, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and I loved the job up until I had to deal with this. I brought them a lot of work because I talked to a lot of people, etc.
I need to know the part you're complaining about. Is it only the driveway?
It's only the driveway.
Okay.
It is actually 3 of the squares.
What's wrong with 3 of them?
One of them is horrible. I mean, almost the entire thing is starting to lift up, and I get the rough texture underneath. All the surface concrete's starting to lift up.
What do you mean? Just the surface? So it's not the whole slab?
Yeah, he's calling it spalling.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, but it's relatively deep and it's large.
Oh, so okay. So big chunks are coming up?
Yeah, I mean, they're not deep chunks, but it's taken away all the finished surface.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Exactly. Spalling is done when the surface tension doesn't have integrity because of, it could have been done because of environmental issues. It could have been done because they didn't finish it properly on the top. There's all kinds of reasons.
I think they pulled all the cream to this side.
What do you think, Devin, the reason is most of the time for spalling?
You know, it could even be the silt or the salt that comes off of the vehicle.
But if the finish is done pretty well, you can usually withstand some of that.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get right down to it. You got 3 squares that are in the driveway that are spalling. So what is, therefore what? Let's get right to it. Is he going to fix it or not?
Well, I've been talking to him for 3 months. He's come down and looked at it twice, says, yeah, I'm going to send a guy out. Now he's trying to claim it's road salt, which is...
Well, of course.
Baloney, because I've been out with knee replacements, so I haven't driven in 6 months.
It doesn't matter. Here's the deal. They're going to look for any reason they can. Is it defective or not is the answer. That, is the question. So here's what I want to know. Why isn't anything else spalling?
That's a very good question.
I mean, if it was road salt, why would it only do it there?
Yeah, this is 5% of the job, probably. It was a $12,000 job. It was not a small job.
So they would have to tear up. Is it bad enough you think they have to tear up the whole 5-foot section, or can they just do a section?
I think at least on the worst section they need to, absolutely. And I'm a little concerned about, I've got 2 others where it's starting to happen. It's not as bad, but the one bad section it's pretty much all over the entire, that section.
Doggone it. I don't know what to... And he won't come out. Or he won't... Excuse me. He came out. He won't fix it.
Well, he keeps saying he's going to...
What's the name of the company? What's the name of the company?
Metro Mix Flatwork.
Metro Mix Flatwork. Okay. Well, what do you want done?
Beautiful job till this happened.
What do you want done?
I just want the repair done.
What would be the repair in your eyes?
Well, I think on this one pad where it's just the whole thing's lifting, I think they need to tear that little section out and re-pour it.
But not, when you say little section, the whole 5'5" or a little part of it?
5 by 5 section. It's pretty much the whole thing is spalling. I have 2 other sections where I've got parts of it that are spalling, but it's not nearly on the level that this is.
I often wondered why they never poured concrete like this. You make you make squares. And I don't mean pattern concrete. I just mean squares and littler, smaller squares. So if something does happen, you can just replace that square. You know, maybe 2x2s or 4x4s. Well, you almost have that with a 5x5. It can't be that much to take out a 5x5, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine that it's that big of a deal. They did the entire job in 2 days, including tear out.
Yeah, but tearing out around other pieces is he doesn't want to disturb everything. But let's give this guy, we got to give him a call. I don't understand what's going on in this world. We have become the customer service department, where we have to call and we have to try to make good with their customers. Metro Mix, flat work. By the way, I also want people to know they've been talked about. So let's give his number out. And by the way, folks, when I do this, it's not so you harass people. Never, ever, ever. I truly believe we're doing a public service. I really do. You know, if I'm talked about, I want to know about it. I want people to say, hey, Tom, I read about you, I saw you, I heard about you. I want them to, because I want to know. I want to know what's being said about me and if it's accurate. So, Gary, what is the number of Metro Mix flat work?
Just one second.
I want him to know we're discussing his work.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Why don't you hold on? You hold on. Don't hang up without giving that to me. And I'm just going to get the number, nothing else. 303-713-8255. Let's talk about your problems. Looking for floor coverings and you want those big warehouse selections? I got it.
You know, something else I'm thinking about that is I wonder if they did 2 separate floors, 2 different mixes. So they brought a truck out, they did one mix, brought another truck out, and they just poured those sections. That other mix could have a bad mix concrete, you know, and that causes some spawning too.
I think they poured too wet.
Or yeah, be too wet.
And then they, like they say, you brought all the cream and the finish and stuff. It's And I don't think you can put anything on top to make it look anything good. It's very top.
What do you say? It was done a year ago?
Yeah, I can't remember what he said there.
Yeah, for it to stall that quick, I don't think it's salt. And if he's not throwing salt down.
Plus, they don't use salt here. It's all natural, right? Which is
Which
also an
then
issue.
yeah.
Fuck. But you're right. That's
Yeah, I got a little in my driveway from it dripping on mine.
You can tell it, right? What's right where the tires are.
Right where my
tires is. Where you sit there.
But it's not that bad.
The other thing, I think if they seal a driveway after it's set up and everything, I think it resists. I know my interior is not as anything, but. So we'll call that guy then? Oh, we'll get some numbers then.
And Greenberry's got it. Plus, it's got more antioxidants than any other cereal, fruit or vegetable. Okay, everyone, take it.
Pick up your morning breakfast routine with Greenberry honey nut toasted oats, multi-grain flakes, or semi-frosted shredded wheat. All with completely unexpected. Look for Greenberry cereals at Sprouts. Greenberry.
Yeah, with cement, you got one chance to do it right. Do you have a hard time getting employees and stuff? Or
yeah,
really?
finding good work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a U.S. veteran?
Is it just because people don't last, or they don't come, or?
You know, a lot of people want to get paid and not do anything. And I've had some good. I think a lot of it's could be me though. I'm pretty picky. And you know,
So after the contract's filled out and it goes back to the rep, what is it?
Get upset.
You don't look like you do. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the rep fills in
yell.
when the contract starts.
They know when I get upset.
And what the terms are, and if there's any, you know, free time.
I expect
promo terms. So he fills in promo terms, regular terms.
Customer service.
Yeah.
You know.
And then start
like
date.
this stuff. So.
Then the next person.
Before I even hire someone, I'm like, man,
Then he sends
trying to
that.
get
He hits submit.
Then he
So
when he submits that,
you know,
automatically, when he submits that,
It automatically goes back to the client.
pretty
The
private.
client then just fills in the billing information and digitally signs it.
So, means a lot. But yeah, I don't know what it is, you know, some guys.
And Daphne worked through it perfect.
Job, Mark, and
Hers is done, signed off. Just like I had you do one, I told Daphne to do one. We bounced back and forth. She signed it, filled in fake credit card info.
Yeah, I've done that too. That's tough work.
You know, yelling. I grew up on a farm. My dad yelled all the time, throw stuff. And I learned pretty quick after I was in the oil and gas business. Yelling doesn't work.
Doesn't do anything.
He lived down by the creek.
No, I seriously, guys, you know, we were on a job and there was pressure and stuff. He just slipped it and he walked away. He didn't quit. He says, you know, so I said,
yeah.
It only works if you got kids.
Yeah.
Not if you got employees.
Yeah.
Hi, Tom Martino. Welcome to the Troubleshooter Show. The only show of its kind anywhere. Gary's got a comment on that concrete guy. The concrete guy came in and basically Metro Mix flat work. Did a porch, stairs, driveway, walkways. And there's 3 squares in the driveway, 5x5 squares, acting up, spalling. They need to be fixed or replaced, probably replaced, and he can't get the guy to come back, or the guy is blaming other things. Look, it's a terrible situation, concrete. If you don't have spalling, you have cracking, heaving, dropping, sinking. It's a common problem. Gary, what is your comment on it?
Like I said before, you know, initially I was very happy with the work. I do have one crack that's a settling crack. I kind of expect that.
Yeah, but what is your comment on this whole thing? Do you think it should be replaced?
Oh, yeah.
And what's his phone number?
I just gave it to your person. It's 720. Hang on.
I don't know what the big deal is here. Suzanne, did he give it to you? Help me out here. I want the number.
Yes, he did. I thought you wanted me to call it, Tom.
No,
I was
well,
going to call.
you can call if you want, but I want people to know that I want people to let him know we're being talked about.
Okay, his cell phone is 720.
Yeah.
366-9033.
All I'm saying is this. It's a courtesy when you let people know you heard about him on the show. We're going to try to get him on the air and figure out what he will do about it. Now, maybe it isn't his fault. I don't know it is. Maybe it isn't. I'm not calling this guy a scumbag. Gary, you believe it's his problem and you just want it fixed, right?
You intentionally did not call him stupid.
No, he's not stupid. Why?
I didn't. I'm just saying.
Not Gary.
I know.
Close. But why did you even mention that? Last time I said that,
I was laughing for a week.
Because the guy was stupid.
but you intentionally didn't call him stupid.
I intentionally did not call him stupid. But Gary is definitely not. It's a very simple problem. He wants it to be fixed. Marie wants an opinion on a car. Go ahead, Marie.
Hi.
What is going on?
Well, I purchased an 06 Prius in February from Larry H. Miller Motor City down here in Colorado Springs. And about a month later, the check engine light came on. And to make a long story short, it cost me close to $1,000 to get 2, what I come to find out, TSDs fixed.
TSD?
Yeah.
TSB.
Technical Service Bulletins.
Oh, you're talking about the bulletins. So you didn't get them fixed. You addressed the bulletins. So what were the bulletins on?
Well, one was 5 years old on a HV pump.
You know, if you did a search on that, you would have found out that there were undone service bulletins. If you had somebody check the car out before you bought it.
Well, yeah, that's just it. I did have my usual mechanic check it out.
He should have found him. He should have found him. He did you a disservice. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it's too bad. How much did it cost you?
Well, close to $1,000.
Oh, you said that. I'm sorry. You could have demanded before you bought it that they do it, but they don't even have to do it then. You understand that if there's outstanding technical service bulletins, TSBs, these guys did not. They didn't do anything wrong at Larry H. Miller. You know that, right? Cars are sold all day long without TSBs being done.
Well, okay, and that's what I wanted your opinion on, because I was getting ready to call corporate and complain about.
Well, I don't think it's a great way to do business, but there's nothing, there's no law against it. I mean, technical service bulletins. Some people check to see if they're done. Some people don't, and if they're not done. You buy cars as is. I doubt Rockies checks all the TSBs on their cars. I doubt it. I doubt anybody does, actually. I don't know anybody who would actually sit down and go through every TSB to see if it was done. And how did you even find out about them? Did you get a letter?
That's just it. When I purchased the vehicle, I did what I thought was all the right things. I had them check it out.
Of course you did. Hey, Marie, here's what I'm asking, dear. How did you find out about them to get them fixed to begin with? How did you find out about them?
Oh, because within that month, I ended up getting a diagnostic done by the Toyota dealership.
But why? Were you having issues?
Well, yeah, the check engine light wouldn't go off,
but it wasn't on when you bought it.
Not when I drove it off the lot, no.
And when you test drove it.
And when I test drove it, it was not.
One thing does concern me, and I'm just saying this. I'm not saying it happened. It seems odd that check engine light came on right after you bought it.
I know, within a month.
I wonder if it was reset.
I don't know.
Mark, can you reset those check engine lights to go off?
Yeah. Generally, they'll hold a code, though.
I'm wondering if that test engine light came on and Larry H. Miller turned it off, sold it.
They could have, you can wipe the history, too, so it's hard to say.
I'm not saying they did that. It just seems odd to me. You know what, Marie? I'm sorry. I don't think there's anything you can do with an as-is purchase, though. I really don't. I don't like it, but, I don't think you have a legal right or some kind of right to demand that you get your money back for that TSB, that $1,000. So I'm just being straight with you. I think that it's a waste of time. And as I said, I don't like it. I would hope that they would check all that stuff when they have a used car in, but I doubt they do. I think probably one of the few dealers that would probably do that would be like Purefoy with the Chevrolets, because he's a manufacturer's, he's a Chevy dealer. So if he gets used Chevys in, I am sure he checks them all. But I don't think he would do it on brands that he's not familiar with. Am I wrong? Who's in the used car business? Give me a call. I don't think you would. I don't think when you get cars in your lot that you check to see that all the TSBs were done. Now, in the aircraft industry, the airworthiness directives are called ADs. And then we have service bulletins. The service bulletins and ADs are logged in a logbook, so you can literally look in a logbook to see if they were done and when they were done. But you don't know what they are, so unless you're looking for it and you know what to look for, you would find them. But if they're not even there and you don't know what to look for, then they wouldn't be there.
I bet a dealer would want to look at them. And the reason I say that is some TSBs could actually be under warranty. They'd get some warranty work out of it.
Yeah, well, even after the warranty expires?
Yeah, possibly.
Would she be covered? I've never heard of service bullets. I've heard of recalls, but not service bullets.
Yeah, you can have a TSB that it basically points to a problem that may be under warranty.
Okay. And if that's the case, the second owner would be covered too, right?
Yeah, most of the time.
303-713-8255. I'm Tom Martino with more coming up.
good shutdown would help make this country...
I mean, doesn't the contract seem easy enough?
Okay, that interstate roofing lady is pissed and keeps calling me,
What
so
is it?
I
Tell me
called
what's going on.
Interstate. Basically, here's the problem. They put her roof on in 2013. She's supposed to have a 25-year warranty. Interstate Roofing never filed the warranty reporting or whatever they're called. So I called Interstate and I just said, hey, who can I talk to there? It's Danielle. I said, is Justin there? He's in a meeting. Danielle? Nope, he's not here right now. I said, well, does this name sound familiar? He says, yeah, just tell her to call and ask for Danielle.
Do they have to
I said,
file it?
she's called several times and you guys never call her back. He says, well, tell her to call this time and we'll call her back. This lady's off the hook pissed, Mark. I don't know what to do.
What's the matter with the roof right now?
I think she's trying to sell the house or something. I don't know.
Do they? Here's what I want to know, truly. Do they have to?
Let's ask Jay how it works.
Should we just put her on the air with you? Or no?
Well, maybe her and Jay.
No, that's fine.
I'd like to know how other
Interstate,
people...
It's a referral list member, so it's just like, but I kind of felt getting, like I was getting the runaround call.
No, seriously, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Okay, how? I mean, if they're supposed to file the warranty, now she doesn't have a warranty, that sucks.
Yeah, let's find out how that procedure works. See if
I would say, though, if you can prove you got an interstate roof, Corning, it's moot that they didn't register. What difference does it make?
So is it okay to put her on the air and I'll get
Of course
Jay?
it is.
Okay, I'm going to do that then.
I'm going to look up...
She's a hot mess.
It is Corning, huh?
She's pissed.
Let's ask Jay, though, how it works.
She's going to.
Corning Roofing. Warranty. You know, I think about that. If I buy a stove and oven, they come with the stupid warranty cards. How many have I ever filled out in my life?
You don't have to.
None.
That's bullshit. You shouldn't have to register. Yeah. It's called substance over form. That's a good legal principle.
Yeah, look at this. I pulled this up.
Oh, can you read that to me?
What is it, Mark?
It's Corning's warranty.
Jeez. Could you summarize it, please?
My God, I can't even read the big print.
Social copy. I want to change your radio copy.
Jay's going to come on and say, well, of course we always fill out the warranty. And by the way, we never get paid a cent till the job is done. He is very good at his messaging. He can deliver
take
like...
a cent to your content.
That's right. He's very good at...
Are you going to talk to Hiram today?
About
give him
what?
a call.
Oh, that Hiram.
Well, you need to. I'll just start using your phone.
Oh, you mean instead of that pound 250?
Oh, it's so...
I always...
Pound.
I never even put it in till this morning when I tried it because I didn't know how to write it up.
It's the most ridiculous thing we have to go through.
It takes a long time to do it. Not
You
a long
truly
time.
have concrete
It's
lift.
nuts.
It's a little over a minute.
You truly have concretelift.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
I know, I was
When
surprised.
did you get that? Years and years
ago.
That's all?
Mm-hmm. I was like, no one's got that?
Well, a lot of people probably just go mudjacking, right? That's concrete lift is a...
Yeah, mudjacking is a
common.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is. You'd be surprised how many people really think you're putting mud in there.
Well, it is kind of mud. Right? I mean,
It's literally mud, isn't it?
a little bit of concrete.
Yeah,
a little bit of cement.
little cement.
Those jackers, man.
I had a guy do mine last year.
No, that's what about mudjacking. I would say what you put on your banner, don't jack. I mean, use concrete lift.
Hey, John, Mark. Hey, when you do a roof off of this has nothing to do with you, but do you file the warranty? Let's say it's a Corning roof. Do you usually actually fill out the warranty card and set it in, or you give it to the consumer? How does it generally work?
Or do you just have to prove it?
And the IRS will be contacted the same day, putting a stop to bank levies and wage garnishments. Call the Fast IRS Tax Relief Hotline at 800-294-8182.
How does Corning work? Do you know how Corning works? Okay. So if you did a Corning roof, you would have to fill it out, or you wouldn't? Got it. All right, thanks. I got to run. Bye. Hey, folks.
Rocky's Auto, 63rd and Federal. If you're looking for a used car, truck, SUV, or van, we've been talking about used cars a lot. You got to go there. Now, they do make sure that they are safe and they are inspected and they are reconditioned, but you know what? You still have to check out cars no matter where you buy them, right? But Rocky's has the cleanest used cars anywhere, and all you have to do is go shop and you'll see. Just compare, okay? Make sure you put them on the list when you're comparing. 63rd and Federal, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8, 303-426-4646. Great selection. Great process. 40 lenders to choose from. Rockies, 63rd and Federal. Okay, now, let's keep going here because I want to try to help everyone. Everyone I can. Let's talk to Annie. Annie, get your gun. Hey, Annie, what's happening?
Yeah, that's right. That's me.
What's going on, Annie?
Hey, I was on the show before and you fixed that problem, so hopefully you can fix this one. I used Interstate Roofing.
Yes.
For a repair in 2013 for that horrible storm we had at midnight in June.
Was it in 2012 or 2013? I guess it doesn't matter. So what happened? You had Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You had a roof done.
Actually, yes, I had a roof height gutters. I had $1 million worth of work that had to be done.
Okay, $1 million. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Anyways,
okay, right.
That's an exaggeration.
Okay.
Obviously.
Got it. Interstate Roofing. Got it. So what's the problem?
Yes, they did several things wrong, but let's cut to the chase. I have it on their invoice that went to State Farm that I got 25-year composite shingles installed. I'm selling my house. I'm about to put it on the market in about a couple of days, all right? And I've been working with these people since the middle of April. I started with Owens Corning.
But hold on. Annie, just hold on, because I need you to slow down and listen. You haven't mentioned a problem yet. Do you have a warranty issue?
Yes.
What is it?
I have no warranty filed with Owens Corning.
That's not what I asked.
Roofing.
That's not what I asked. Why? What is the issue that you need the warranty for? What is happening? Is it leaking?
No. I want to put on the disclosure for real estate that the new buyer has a warranty on my roof.
I got you. You want to make it attractive. You're saying you want to say 25-year warranty and you want to prove it, right?
That's right.
Gotcha. All right. So you have proof that you installed this roof in 2012, right?
Yes, right here in my hand.
Good. It's a contract with Interstate Roofing. Is that right?
It is. Well, I have the original contract.
Good. And does it say?
I have the documentation.
Okay, Annie.
That indicates what? Yes.
Does your contract specify Owens Corning shingles?
Owens Corning.
Good.
True Depth color. There is not a spot on this contract for the warranty.
No, I'm not asking that. But your contract states that you have Owens Corning, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
True Depth.
That's proof of purchase, all right?
Yes.
All right. Now, you're telling me when you called Owens Corning, they said you do not have a warranty.
They said there's no warranty had ever been filed on this house.
Okay. The warranty has not been filed on the house, but we don't know if you have a warranty. Because what I'm saying is I don't know either. Here's what I'm saying, Annie. This is a weird thing, but like if I buy a GE refrigerator or if I buy a certain brand of something, whether I register it or not, I have a warranty according to the manufacturer, and the only thing I have to prove is that I bought it and that it was installed, or I bought it and it's being used, but I just have to prove that I have the product and what date I bought the product. I don't, even though people have these warranty things, they don't, I mean, I have never sent a warranty card in ever on anything I've ever had, and I've always had warranties. So I have to figure out if that voids your warranty or not. If it does, I would think that's the most screwed up system I've ever heard. So I want to talk to Danielle over at Interstate Roofing and find out, first of all, Danielle, thank you very much. Danielle?
Yes. Hi.
Okay, hi. Now, when you put on an Owens Corning roof or any other roof, are you supposed to register that roof with the manufacturer?
Only if they're getting a platinum warranty, which there is a cost incurred to that because you have to put, the homeowner has to go through the warranty process with Owens Corning. We don't do that for them.
And that's a platinum. That's a warranty you actually pay for.
Right.
Now, what?
So that's the only time that they're actually registered. Otherwise, Owens Corning always warranties, you know, the 25 years of their shingle, but there is no...
There's no actual registration she can call up and find out, oh yeah, you're home at 123 Foster Street. That's what I thought, because I've never heard of anyone registering. I've had roofs done all my life and I've never had it registered. So hold on a second. So if you have, Annie, if you have Owens Corning shingles and you can prove they were installed and you have the proof of purchase, Danielle is saying you have the warranty, right, Danielle?
Well, and we keep that on record for the customer as well. So, you know, the warranty just transfers with the home.
Of course it does. And I've never heard of why, Annie, did you say you don't have a warranty?
Because when I called Owens Corning, they indicated that I didn't have one.
Annie, what they indicated is they can't find you in their system because no one keeps tracks of the addresses of each individual customer. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, of course they can't find you in your system. There are many, many things I have in my home, every piece of electronics. They can't find me in the system unless I register it. But that doesn't mean I don't have a warranty. That's been proven by the Federal Trade Commission and federal lawsuits. If you buy the product and you have proof of purchase, you do not have to register. If you can prove you bought it and they offer the warranty. I have a sleep apnea. I was first diagnosed years ago in a sleep lab. It's dreadful. You have to go in with all those wires.
Yeah. If he's simply going to repeat what we said, I don't need it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. She says that she called them and they said, no, you don't have a warranty.
For a free consultation with an STS provider, they set me up with a home sleep test, and I put a thing around my nose and I went to sleep. And then I went back to a provider who fitted me with the device that I wear at night. Immediately, I
You'd be surprised how many people want to find problems. I swear to
That's what I was going to ask.
They live their life. They live their life looking for trouble. That's what they do.
An STS provider. They will answer all of your questions.
Right, Mark?
1-844-80-SLEEP. That's 844-80-SLEEP. SleepTreatmentSolutions.com. This will change your life.
This is Denver's Talk Station. More with Martino after the news on 630 KNOW.
Hey, Drew wants his recaps by 12:45. This is what I wrote up. You can look at it real quick.
What you saying?
Drew's heading out, so he wants his recap. You know, the little tag, whatever.
Sprinter spelled wrong. The band shouldn't be capitalized.
Bob with Metro Mix wants a word with you.
Who does?
Bob.
Sprinter man?
With Metro Mix Flat Work, and then line 3 is the guy who called about him.
Who's Metro?
So he knows all about you and how you've had dealings with him before, and his business partner Charlie Weaver or something, who's since passed away,
I don't know who that
and
is.
how you put we know what happened on New Year's Eve, and how your wife's you put your plane in your wife's name, and I said, would you just like to come on? I said, really, I'm just concerned about Gary. He says, yeah, I'll come on.
My plane is in my name.
So
I've never
anyway, firecracker.
Okay, good.
Jesus. Charlie Weaver, that's that old comedian that used to be on TV.
I doubt it's the same one.
People think, oh my God, I've been here 38 years in Denver, and people think I got secrets.
Maybe you're on the air every day.
Okay, Sprinter band makeover.
Well, I'll tell you really quick. He used to be a police officer.
You?
You look like a police officer.
He looks like Mikey, doesn't he?
But I had a deal with this one guy that would always drop your name. Always drunk.
But Tom Martino told me this. Tom Martino told me that.
What police station?
I mean, County Erie.
Department. Okay.
County Erie.
Oh, that's got to be a small place, huh?
Yeah, we only
fun,
had
though?
20
Was it
officers.
I bet it was with all
Yeah, I loved it.
family.
It was great. I mean, we got to do stuff that most big agencies never get to do, like write our own warrants.
Kick people's ass.
Yeah.
Do that.
I was going to say that.
You don't believe in any kind of cam.
Rough them up.
Erie's
Take them out back.
Erie's, that's out in the country, man.
Yeah, we take them out back. Problem solved.
I bet half you wore cowboy hats.
Why'd you quit?
This. I was working 80 to 90 hours a week, and I just had to pick one or the other.
I had a good friend and neighbor that he went from construction to the police academy to Castle Rock, PA, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So he works there 3-4 years, can't stand it, says it's the most boring thing in the world, leaves there, gets divorced. This all happened like in a month. Gets divorced, moves to Denver and signs on with Denver. He loves Denver. He likes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's more exciting.
Yeah, he hated Castle Rock. He goes, it's absolutely shit, man. It's a bunch of kids getting busted for drugs, or it's some DUIs and domestics. He goes, that's it. I get shit.
Yeah.
Well, in Denver, their SWAT team, they're constantly busy. They're breaking down places and stuff for drug things constantly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fun part, right?
That's
if you like
the rush.
If you like it.
Yeah.
It's the rush, right?
Yeah.
But just sitting in the car and stuff, waiting and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I did the graveyards too many times. That's boring.
Yeah, I'll bet.
K-How.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hi, Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. What's going on with you? We want to help you any way we can. That's what we do each and every day for 38 years and climbing. All you have to do is call. And you know we love to get both sides of the story. We had a guy call in about concrete work, and he said he had Metro Mix do a lot of work for him, and he said he likes the work. In fact, he said he loves the work and was singing their praises. He had a porch done, he had stairs done, he had a driveway done, he had walkways done, and he said only 3 5x5 squares started spalling, and all he wanted to do is get them fixed. And he's saying that the guy from Metro Mix said it was probably due to salt and due to road stuff, to which we said that's entirely possible. What else did we say?
Why wouldn't the other squares be affected then? Are these 3 squares where he parks his vehicle? Do we
don't know? But it could possibly be something else. We don't know. And he did say the work was done well, so we said we should get a hold of Metro Mix. And we have Bob on Metro Mix right now from Metro Mix, and Bob wants to talk about it. Okay, Bob, welcome.
Hello.
Hello. So, Bob, basically, Gary loves the work except for those particular squares.
Correct. And I was out to see Gary, and in a way, I cannot blame Gary for his frustration mounting to this, because I kind of not intentionally misled him to believe that Jose, with the worker, and his father, the team that did the job, would take a look at it, and then they will. I shouldn't have led. First of all, I apologize to misleading him that we would get there sooner than I, could get there.
Well, it's not a big deal. It's only 3 squares. I mean, it's not like the whole job's bad. But why do you find usually spalling happens?
Spalling in the industry, and I'm aware of this industry tremendously. Most people, when they publish a warranty on spalling, they get it from industry standards nationwide. There's a certain percentage of that they consider in the industry, and it's probably been brought up on your show or in the industry. It has to have been brought up, in my opinion, because I'm sure, because of the situation. When there's a certain amount of spalling, and I could call 100 concrete guys, they look at it where this particular case is right where the customer parks his truck. And,
okay.
It's not to the front of it, way back where he admits he doesn't park. It's really only where he parks. Anybody in the industry could say that could lead to spalling. I did offer to Gary to get the crew out there. I shouldn't have I should have actually told him more. It would be a little longer than and then I can see the frustration.
So what were you going to do? Were you going to repair it?
I want to have Jose to look at it. If it is spalling, I can repair it. If he wants it replaced.
How do you repair it? How do you repair it? I'm just curious about that because a lot of people call about spalling, and I'm wondering.
Okay. Yeah, and spalling can be a lot of ways can happen, but when it's really only where he parks.
Right.
Pretty much, and he has to admit, because I was there 5 times.
I understand that part, but how do you repair it, though? Do you scrape it down and then re-pour a cap, or what?
You power wash it with a certain substance which opens the pores, several brand names. I think one of them is called Echo. It opens the pores, you let it dry. You put on a bonding agent, concrete, call it concrete super glue. It's white, looks milky. Bonding agent, several manufacturers out there. You put it on there. You take a 4,500 PSI strength mix mortar, which is concrete product, and you go over it, you trowel it, you wire brush it to simulate the broom finish that was already on there, and then you put a clear, no gloss seal over it. Being at 4,500 pounds per square inch, stronger than the pour, which would have been 4,200, I believe, or 4,000 PSI. So it's stronger than the...
I think that, Gary, you would be satisfied with that, right?
I would be, but there are a couple of problems. One, it's not where I park. It's actually on the walkway.
I thought you told us, hold on, Gary, you told us it was 5 by 5 squares you parked, in your driveway.
Well, the walkway is extended over to include the driveway. In other words, I just enlarged the driveway in order to...
But there's only 3 squares there, right?
4.
4.
4 squares across.
Now, you told us 3 squares on the driveway. Now you're telling us 4 squares. Okay, that's fine.
There are 3 squares that are bad, yes.
That's what I'm talking about. So 3 have spalling. But do you understand he is saying, first of all, I don't care why it happened, especially if he's willing to repair it. What difference does it make?
Well, my big problem was he called me back and told me, well, we're going out of business. You made a big mistake calling Tom and insulted you. And I'm just a little frustrated with it. And
first of all, no one makes a mistake calling because our show is fair, and all we want to do is help and fix things. And in fact, if he thought spalling caused it, that's what he thinks, and you think it didn't. I don't know what caused it. Here's the bottom line, though: if he's willing to fix it, what would be wrong with that, Gary?
Well, I'd like to have it done quicker than the past 3+ months.
Okay, Mark,
if he'll do it and get out here and do it, fine.
Mark's on the edge of his seat here. What's wrong with Mark? Mark, what? You want to say something, Mark? Mark?
I'm biting my tongue. If the guy's going to go out there and fix, you really want me to tell you why?
Yeah.
Because I think it's crap when this guy calls up, the owner of this company, going, I know Tom, and I know this, and I know what he did, and blah, blah, and all that kind of crap. I got to tell you, Mark, that's deflecting right off the bat, and anybody that does that crap ultimately is always full of it. You know it, I know it.
But
and this guy's been putting this consumer off now for how long? How long has this guy been saying Jose and the group are going to be out there to do it, and the mariachi band and everybody else?
Officially called January.
Gary. So listen, here's what I say. Let's give him a chance to fix and see what happens. And Mark, I'm used to people, I'm used to people attacking me. Look, I've been on the air for 38 years, and no one's been successful yet.
You can keep a secret on the air.
Right, you can.
That's the amazing part.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I'm used to that. That's a natural reaction for people when they hear about it on the show. They say, oh, my God,
Yeah, I noticed he didn't have any cojones or balls to say anything when he finally got on, though.
Okay, so listen, Bob, you're willing to fix this. I think, Gary, that sounds the way. In fact, I am happy that he told us that there's a way to fix spalling because there are a ton of people with spalling problems. And I got to tell you, I never knew about this bonding agent, but does it really work?
Okay, gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, everything that was said there is true. I'm not, first of all, but what I'd like to say is there's 3 squares. And Gary, how many squares are, hold on, I haven't even measured it. I would guess there's 80 squares on your property. Am I close?
No, more like maybe 40.
All right.
I'll bet you 100.
Who cares?
All right, I would bet 100 with anybody sitting me there's more than 40. But Tom and everybody, okay, 40. You got 3 squares that are bad out of 40. If you guys do any research, and I suggest everybody does, it's fun research. You'll learn. In the concrete industry nationwide, even in London, I believe, what they have is a formula. And I did try to explain that a little bit to Gary. And also keep in mind when he calls in January when there's more salt, that's why we don't repair them in January. More salt on the road. You really want to wait for spring on those to successfully do repairs.
Are you gonna fix it for him, or at least go look at it?
He did say.
I'm going. Yes, I'm going.
Perfect.
I'm going to fix it for him. I did tell him I was going to fix it. I think part of the problem is you know, I know Gary mentioned I got you $100,000 worth of business. I would like to know who that is so I can thank him, because when we put a yard sign out, it's like public advertising because we gave Gary a tremendous discount. We did, Peter.
All right. So bottom line is
the yard sign. Bottom line is
you're going to fix it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll fix it. If Gary wants to pick a day 2 weeks from now, give or take a day, like if he picks a Wednesday, you know, like it might be Tuesday,
so I think what you ought to do, Gary, is call him right back and get that done. And here's the thing. Look, I didn't know, and I'd like to hear from people if ever they've had spalling corrected, because I would love if this works. You clean it all out. You power wash it with a special substance that opens up the pores. Then you throw on a bonding agent with a top coat. That would be wonderful if you could do that. Now,
and all that's cheaper than actually just a repour?
Easily, because with a repour, you have to tear it all out. You have to jackhammer it. Devin, have you ever heard of that?
Absolutely, yeah. There was a company at the Home and Garden Show just this last year that I ran into that does that specifically. I can't remember the name of the company.
That's pretty cool, because you know why that's cool? I'll tell you why it's cool. Because if you lift concrete lift and stabilization, they lift concrete, it may have already cracked. And you want to fix that crack, you want something that bonds, right? Do you do that crack sealing, or do you do just the lifting part?
We generally do the cracks or just the lifting. The crack sealing will be accommodated if they request that.
But they could get someone, if they have like a number of places you have to lift, and then let's say they have a few cracks, they could theoretically use this bonding agent stuff to maybe fix the surface areas.
Yes, you do have to be careful with it just being cracked, though.
No, of course. It has to be deeper than just a crack for it to adhere. It needs something to adhere to.
Yep.
303-713-8255. Annie has another question. She had called originally and said Interstate Roofing did a roof. They did Owens Corning, and she's getting ready to sell it, and she wanted to know if she has a warranty. And we were assured by several people that yes, she has a warranty if she can prove that she purchased Owens Corning. It carries a manufacturer's warranty.
She didn't actually say she wanted to know if she has a warranty. She called up saying she doesn't have a warranty, and she was very upset with Interstate Roofing because she never got a warranty.
Right, but technically there is nothing you get in your hands. You just have the warranty by nature of the manufacturer's warranty. So, Annie, what I need to know is what other question do you have?
Just one, Tom.
Yes.
I'm going to put on my disclosure form that I have a 25-year warranty. My husband listens to you every day.
Yes.
And he has indicated that some things that you put on a disclosure for real estate, you can get sued for if you cannot prove at a later date that these things were done.
That's true.
Okay,
if you put stuff on there, technically, you can get sued for that. You're right. You're right.
Okay. Okay. So
what I would do is I put down it has a new Owens Corning roof installed in 2000. Let's just say the date 2012 or 13 or 14, whatever, and shingles are warranted by Owens Corning under Owens Corning warranty, or you can say it's the 25-year shingle warranted by Owens Corning. I wouldn't say I certify that this has a 25-year or whatever. I wouldn't say anything like that. I would simply say that there's a new Owens Corning roof installed 2012 or whenever it was that carries an Owens Corning warranty for whatever it is. That's it. Just look on the website. It's what is it, Mark? A 25-year warranty, right?
Some stuff's 10, some stuff's 25.
So whatever yours is, if it's a 25-year shingle, I would just state that, Annie. I wouldn't go to some great length.
You're not lying about anything. That's exactly what you have.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. So if I was
So I
the
think you'll be fine. You know, with warranties, like I said, I have all kinds of electronics in my home. I have a refrigerator, stoves, all that. I don't have a warranty. I mean, I have a warranty, but if you called them up and said, I'm so-and-so, can you tell me if I have a warranty? They said, we don't even know who you are.
They're going to say, send us proof of purchase.
Right, right. Not everyone registers. Let's talk about buying and selling homes anyway, and then let's talk about paying off homes. You see, Brent Ivinson has a plan for that at Ideal Home Loans. Of course they do loans, straight-up loans for buying, for refinancing, but they also have solutions if you want one, like paying off credit cards or paying off your home quicker. Let's talk about that part, paying off your home quicker. Go ahead.
Well, Tom, you know, right now with rates doing what they've done in the last couple of weeks, it opens up that opportunity again for people to look into a shorter-term mortgage. It makes a 15-year mortgage affordable. The great thing is we're finding a lot of people are cashing in on getting out of their 30-year loan that they're in now, going to a 15-year mortgage, and in some instances, not paying any more than they were on their current 30-year mortgage today just because of what rates are doing. So a great opportunity to get ahead financially and do a little planning. The name of the game is get your house paid off as fast as you can, and when you have these opportunities, it's a great time to take advantage.
And all you have to do is call Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan. It really is a time to take advantage. And don't ever be afraid of interest rates, because if they drop, you didn't miss it. They'll refinance you free of charge. That's part of their interest rate guarantee. 303-867-7000. 867-7000. IdealHomeLoans.com.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
This report is brought to you by Discover Student Loans.
It's Tuesday. It's the middle of the day. That means I-25.
That company that I met with, they had a 3-year warranty on it or something.
Who?
I can't remember the name of the company.
We had a company on the referral list that did something with, I think it was more of a cover though, like an epoxy that goes over it. Now, epoxies, if you do the right finishes, concrete finishes are beautiful, but man, so many of them fail. Yeah. You said plumb line, right? Yes.
Have your promo ready to do like 26 session show, so I can get right out of here.
Great grades, 0 fees. Plus, students could earn payment. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
Plumbline Services. I recommend them for all of your plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains, especially now with half off new ACs. The heat is coming whether you believe it or not, and you can get up to $1,300 in utility company rebates, 0% financing for up to 12 months, and 10-year parts and labor warranty. And it's all with half off the AC part of the matched AC furnace system. Call for details, 303-586-1086, 303-586-1086. And don't forget about their drain special, 93 or free. That's right. You have nothing to worry about. If they come out and they try and they can't get that unclogged, you don't pay a dime. But if they do, it's only $93. And if they can't, not only is the call free, but they'll give you a diagnosis of exactly what's wrong. Plumbline Services, plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains, 303-586-1086, plumblineservices.com.
Have you had to deal with a garage floor or interior floor that's sinking? Brian here with Advanced Mudjacking. Negative drainage on a porch or patio, sloping floors, trip hazards in sidewalks, or just a hole under your concrete from those pesky rabbits. Advanced Mudjacking has the solution. Tried and true methods with sand and cement. No risky foam or chemicals. Go with a proven company that lifts and stabilizes your concrete. Guaranteed. Advanced Mudjacking. 303-424-9441. Or email me, advancedmudjacking@yahoo.com.
Hey, I want you to listen to something. Listen to this. Listen. Do you hear that? Can you hear that?
I got to hear that every day.
Hold on. I'm doggone it. I want to hear it. Hold on. Hear that?
Of course I do. I hear it every day.
There's sounds you don't even hear. Anyway, that's just a little tiny sound that's programmed just for me and my tinnitus. That's right. What happens is Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center has the only permanent solution for tinnitus right now, FDA approved, and it is called Desynchra. It desynchronizes your brain waves that send that sound to you. And what that does, those sounds interrupt that. Now, it takes several weeks of wearing this thing, a few hours a day. But listen, can you imagine all of the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful reports we're getting from people who finally have gotten rid of the ringing in their ears or the humming in their ears? Now, they have other things available for tinnitus if dysynchronous not for you, because that's for a certain wavelength. But they also have hearing devices if you are if you have a hearing loss in addition to tinnitus, or maybe just a hearing loss, whatever it is, you get free test drive with hearing aids. Give them a call. And you know what about the Synchro? I should tell you what I love about this. They let you try it for up to 8 weeks to see if you're getting progress. And if not, there's no obligation. 303-534-0163. I love Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. They've helped me so much. 303-534-0163. Their website, helpforringing.com.
Hanson McLean Advisors. Find them at hansonmclean.com.
Your shot at $1,000 now. Text the word cash to 200-200. You'll receive a confirmation text.
My desk. Oh, you can't. Really? Swear to God. What's weird, though, is how that sound fixes your ear. That's the part that's just weird. It literally fools your brain. You got it?
I've had ringing for...
Ever?
Hi, Tom Martino here. So, Devin, I didn't know you have tinnitus, Devin. I didn't know that. What do you have? Ringing?
Ringing.
No fool.
Constant ringing. Yep. Is it from the gun? He used to be a cop, folks. Is it from gunfire?
No, what is it? Is it from equipment, or what do you think? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know how to pinpoint it.
Is it a really high pitch?
It's very high pitch, just constant ringing. I've had testing in my ears, and I got great hearing, but just a constant.
No, I know. Is it left or right? Both.
Both.
Did you follow Metallica around while you were young?
That's probably what it was.
By the way, concrete lift and stabilization, if you have any concrete issues, 720-890-2740. Let me get to the phones. Greg had a call, has a comment on that warranty issue. Go ahead, Greg.
Hey, Tom, I happen to look up Owens Corning warranty coverage. And depending on the type of shingle she has, it's either a lifetime warranty or a 25-year. However, there's a second category that's with it. It says true protection coverage period, non-prorated, and they're 10 years or 5 years.
So whatever she has, she has. It's whatever it is.
And then it's only replaceable for 10 years, and then after that they prorate it.
If that's what she has, we don't know which one she has.
But that's still a 25-year warranty, even if it kicks into a proration like a battery.
Yeah, it's a 25-year. But you're right, Greg. I think it's risky when you start telling your buyers what kind of warranty. What I would say is, if they're new Owens Corning shingles or put on this date, and it has whatever the manufacturer's warranty is transferred to you.
You know what? You give them a copy of the receipt.
Hey, Tom?
Yes.
Jay Brett's called me. He's going to help Annie out and get her warranty filed. He says he knows some folks up there that can help her, so that's good.
But she doesn't have let's make sure everybody knows there is no warranty problem.
No.
Her only problem was she thought she didn't have a warranty.
She wants it registered, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's nice. That's nice of Jay to do that. I mean, so many people just like that comfort of having it registered.
You know what I like about Jay?
What?
You don't pay a cent.
Until you're content. Lori!
Hello.
What's going on? I'm so sorry for your wait, Lori. Let's hope we can help you.
That's okay. I have somebody that wants their child to borrow my horse at Gymkhanas, and I want to write up something that will protect me. You know, if her child
You don't have
hurt,
to.
I don't.
Have you heard of the equine laws in Colorado?
Yes, I have. I didn't know if that would protect me if she decided to get crazy and sue me.
Well,
you know,
Lori, I'm going to tell you why they did that. Years ago, you know, Colorado was built on the horse industry years ago, and there were so many horse activities, and a lot of western states, you know, they figured this is such a risky business that how are we going to protect people from lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit? So there is specifically an equine law that disclaims all personal injuries related to equine. You can't bring a personal injury suit for equine. I imagine there are some exceptions, but man, it's very, very how should I say? It's very hard, if not impossible, to bring an equine suit in Colorado because there is a there is a specific law that you're not liable for the injury or death of anyone participating in any kind of equine activity. It's called, now I'm not saying...
It's Title 13.
Title 13, and it says, but then there's a special provision underneath it.
Article 21, damages, yep.
And it's specifically equine activity. Okay, so it says equine, it says it means riding, training, assisting, medical treatment, driving, being a passenger, whether mounted or unmounted, a person assisting or participation or show management. The term engages in equine activity does not include being a spectator at an equine activity except in the cases where the spectator places himself in an unauthorized area. So if you're a spectator in the stands, you can still bring suit. But so equine activity means participating, okay?
Okay.
And
or boarding or...
By the way, the disclaimer also extends to llamas.
Yeah, which is weird. And what the hell is a hinny?
I don't know.
It says horse, pony, mule, donkey, and hinnies.
And llamas, too.
But what's a hinny?
Huh. I don't have a clue.
Now, that's even... Man, I'm telling you, this goes so far. Listen, there are some people that just want to be safe no matter what, right? So, I don't know. I just don't think... I would say, here's what I would do. You know, I use this horse... And I'm not giving you legal advice here, so you might want to just use your own words or ask an attorney. But I would say, under Title 13, blah, 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 and cite the law, I understand that I cannot hold so-and-so responsible for any blah, 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 and I further personally waive any kind of rights I may have or something.
I would download one for either rafting or what's that when you swing off the trees and stuff?
Zip lining.
Zip lining, and then just switch out the words.
Yeah, do it. Okay. But you're pretty well protected in Colorado for equine activity and apparently llamas and hinnies.
How about if I robbed a bank on horseback? Am I safe here?
Yeah, if you hurt someone. No. They would be spectators. Now, what is a hinny?
I have no idea. H-I-N-N-Y.
It looks like a horse. Looks just like a horse. A hinny, is a...
How have you never heard this?
I've never heard of a hinny before. It's a mammal. Okay, well, of course. It says... the less frequent cross between a female ass and a male horse, as opposed to the other way around. It's usually a female horse and a male ass. So you get a male... No. Yeah, a male ass, and you get a female horse. That makes a donkey, right? No, excuse me, not a donkey. It makes a mule. It makes a mule. So a mule is from a donkey and a mare. A male donkey and a mare. And then a hinny is from a female donkey and a stud. That's what it is.
That's one ugly beast.
Well, it's the same cross, though, if you think about it, as a mule. But a mule, that's an interesting trivia question. The difference between a mule and a hinny. They're both half and half, but in different ways. Does it really matter? I don't know.
Matters to the hinny.
303-713-8255. Listen, Mike, really quick here. What's going on? Your dad was served instead of you in a lawsuit?
Yeah, I got served a summons. Unfortunately, I wasn't home. They came to the door, and they said, are you Mike? My father said, yes, I'm Mike. He goes, are you 59 years old? He said, do I look 59? I'm 80. And they threw the summons in the...
You were served.
Said, consider yourself served, and walked off.
You were served, Mike. Hold on a sec. We'll go over it in detail, okay? We will. All right. One thing that I love talking about is great places to go when it comes to your car. Now, if you go to my referral list, you'll see some good shops on there. And Pro Auto Care is among the best ever. 25 years in business, and right now offering a $25 Pro package in celebration of 25 years in business. They're all ASC certified. Good people. Honest, ethical, and just runs a great business with 2 locations. Near Evans and I-25, if you just go a little east and then north on Dahlia. He's right up there on the right. Or you go south of Bowles on Santa Fe. As you're going south, take a left at West Church near Arapahoe Community College. I really love the way Pro Auto Care works. Not only do they take care of you with all of their maintenance specials, they also have emergency fixes, of course, that if you need something right away. They also have pickup and drop-offs if you need that. And in between all repairs or maintenance for their customers, they offer free roadside assistance. You become part of the family. If anything goes wrong, you call them and you get roadside assistance. I had to use it one time. I loved knowing that I had that security. And it lasts for 36,000 miles or 3 years. So it's in between virtually every service you have. 303 Pro Auto is the phone number. 2 locations, I said. 303 Pro Auto. And the website, 303proauto.com.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
This report is brought to you by Moderna.
Traveling up in the high country.
Watch out for intermittent closures, both directions of I-70 near Dumont there for some relocation there. Just be aware that's going to happen throughout the rest of the afternoon.
You were going to do it after Ideal Home Loans. You said you got to sell in there.
Overturned trailer from a few hours ago. Right. No estimated time when it will reopen. And somehow a car managed to find itself dangling off of Spear there.
To Denver spot in 30.
If you can, just avoid that area near Spear and East.
This is my back short. That's short.
Today, with a high near 73. Right now, partly sunny skies in Denver and 66. Even better. Traffic and weather. I'm Pete.
The stem cell.
Kenny Howe.
Don't let a cigar steal your spotlight. Use Moderna.
I can honestly say I'm a patient of Stem Cell Institute of America, and I urge you to look into Stem Cell Institute of America. If you need stem cell therapy for pain or for osteoarthritis, knee, low back, shoulder, other joints, neuropathy even, you got to stop and listen and go to one of their seminars. They have one near you, I'm sure. They have them in Denver, the Tech Center, Littleton, Boulder, other areas. And when you attend these seminars, they will address all of this really great information, cutting-edge information on relieving pain, inflammation, regrowing tissue that you need to avoid surgeries, in some cases, completely avoid surgery. It's been known to have great results, and I'll tell you, it's nothing short of a miracle with me. I've always had issues with my lower back. I've had so many things done, and this, I'm going to say right now, I can't say it's 100% pain-free, because I don't have a lot of pain anyway. You know, I've done really well, but it took away about 95% of any discomfort, and that's even after a really, really, really strong workout. I just love it. And I urge you to call right now and get on the list for this free, no-obligation seminar, 855-262-4040. That's 855-262-4040.
Major key alert! Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com. Brought to you by GetSchooled and the Ad.
What was like? What was it, Mark? Well, they didn't put any cortisone or anything in. I didn't do a blood test, but they assured me absolutely not. That'll kill it.
Flexident 5.
They can do for your family. 800-362-8370.
Let's talk about Flexident. It's called paintless dent repair. Do you know what that means? That means they literally massage that metal and it goes back to where it was. You don't even know they're there. But you have to know what you're doing, because you can overdo it and it would leave little humps in the metal or little waves. But it is the best way to fix, and they have highly skilled, certified paintless dent repair techs, including the owner, Nick, who is the founder. He is the master certified guy. Door dings, minor dents, hail damage, all fixed without disturbing the original finish in like 1 to 3 days tops. And since they don't disturb the paint, you don't even know they've been there. That's why Flexident is preferred by insurance companies. They gladly pay. And now you save $500 if you call Flexident and mention me, 303-619-6273. That's FlexidentColorado.com, 303-619-6273.
Michael Brown, afternoons 4 to 7.
New York City schools prevented ICE agents from entering a school building. So since when is law enforcement barred from entering a public facility, especially if they're just doing their job? Join me at 4 o'clock for more Irreverent Talk Radio.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Let me just tell you something, Mike. There's two things that could have happened. One, they thought your father was the guy being served and they served him, or they were meant to serve you. But in reality, either way, you were served because you got it and you're calling and you know about it. And here's what I say to people. If you dodge service, it does nothing at all except delay it, because it doesn't do anything legally to help you whatsoever. Not one bit does it help you. And it's usually better to just accept the service and answer it and get it over with. But it is a technicality. If you're not served, they can't issue a judgment without you having it turned aside. Because if you're not served and you don't show up, and they try to get a default judgment, and you truly were not served. Like some guys literally, it's called gutter service. They literally throw them away and claim they served you because they figure you're never going to show up, you're never going to argue about it. And so you get a default judgment, you don't find out about it till a year later, and there's nothing you can do about it, hardly ever, unless you can prove where you were, and then you get a return of service and see that there was no one really that took service. But I'm sure they're going to show you that your dad in the return of service took service and they left.
Well, he took it. He said, hey, wait a minute. Yeah. I'm not this person.
But it doesn't matter. They don't have to be.
Anyway.
It doesn't have to be. You got it. It has to be an adult at the household. And you acknowledge that you got it. So I advise you, Mike, to accept that service and do not make a big deal about it. It's just a technicality.
As far as appearance, obviously, I'm on disability and I do not have the money. It's a medical bill.
Yeah.
And at the time that the bill was occurred, I called the hospital and tried to make arrangements about it.
Now, if you want help on that issue, that's separate from this issue. I suggest you do show up and just tell the judge you can't afford it. You're going to get a judgment against you. But if you can't afford it and you're on disability, then you're going to have to come to grips with what to do with your life, because you're going to have a lot of bills, right? It's not just this one.
When I went there in the first place to St. Anthony's, I said, hey, look, I had a grand mal seizure. I have 5 or 6
Why don't you have Medicaid?
You're charging me $80,000 for every one.
Why don't you have Medicaid?
$1,200 a year.
Mike, why don't you have Medicaid?
You know, I mean,
Mike, why do you not have Medicaid? You can get Medicaid. That's what Obamacare did. It extended Medicaid to almost everyone who can't afford it.
Well, yeah, I got Medicare and I make $800 a month, but they want another $125 a month. So
Mike, what's the
$600 a month for me is almost impossible.
Mike, how old are you right now?
I am 58, and I had a wonderful company. And
all right, I'm talking about.
$100.
It sounds like Mike just wants to talk, so I'm going to leave him on hold to talk, and then when he's ready for information, I'll give it to him. Let's talk to Bob for Devin. Bob, what's going on with you?
Gentlemen, I think I've gone home with some of those Heimies or whatever they are.
They're called Hennies.
Hennies.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, I got 2 concrete slabs, about 20 by 5s, and they're butt up against each other. The driveway goes into them, and then they go into my garage. One of the slabs is tilted down because in the middle of my garage, I walk in there, and you can tell that they're tilted down. But I also do have a crack, a pretty big, good-sized crack in that one that's tilted down. Can he still do something with that?
What do you think, Devin?
Something I definitely have to come out and take a look at, but most often, yeah, we do some repairs that have cracks in the concrete, so it's not something that we have to disregard.
And
so
it's
what do you do?
Free estimate.
What do you do? Drill open and drill a hole to get access to pump?
Yep.
How do you find the void to pump into?
That's going to be based off of the lowest part of the sinking. If it's
butt up against the foundation.
Yeah, so we would drill probably about 2 feet away from the foundation. And
how do you know you reached a void?
That's a good question. Typically, when we drill out, we can really get a good sense of how big that void is. But we're definitely, if the concrete is sinking anywhere in there, then you're going to have a void.
So you insert in more than one boring when you do the jacking?
Yes, we can, depending on how big the slab is, how much it needs to be raised up. Yeah, it could.
Okay, now this is a good time to ask quickly. What is the best? Why do some people see you use both, which is good, both the plastic polymer pumping or the mud, which is the concrete pumping? Are there times you use one or the other, and why?
Yeah, depending on the size of slab, how much it's dropped. That is going to indicate, if it's dropped severely, it's going to indicate a very large void in there, and so it's going to take a lot of material. Yeah, you typically, mud is a good alternative.
Which is concrete, because it's cheaper.
It's going to be less expensive.
Now, if it's, so for the smaller ones, you want the polymer?
Yeah, depending also where the slab is. If you've got a lot of moisture under there or surrounding the slab, then the polyurethane is a good material.
Because the poly is waterproof, right?
Yes, it'll repel water.
And so, also, you need less of it, right? To make the same volume?
Yeah, typically, depending on the...
like, it expands a lot.
It expands significantly, yeah.
And also, I heard you can use them like piers almost, as opposed to filling the whole void. You can just put big pockets of this stuff around, right?
Yeah, because the foam itself is never going to crack. It's never going to change its shape or form. It's not going to soften up on it.
And it's really strong, isn't it?
Yes.
As far as lifting.
Yes, we actually lift up highway slabs with this. Yeah.
If you have a big void, would you put mud in and then come back the next day and fill it?
Good question.
We actually have a job
You do
tomorrow.
a combo.
A job tomorrow that we've got that exact situation.
I got to ask you something, Tom.
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
All these crypto viruses going around.
Right.
Okay, big ones. So Disney got their new Pirates of the Caribbean taken. What
do you mean taken?
Taken. Someone stole the movie, so it hasn't been released yet.
Oh, my goodness.
They said, if you don't pay us X amount of Bitcoin, we're going to release it on the 28th. But I don't know if you know this. A Netflix original called Orange is the New Black.
Right.
Same thing happened to them about a month ago. These pirates said, hey, you're going to pay us 100, 200 Bitcoin, or we're going to release your entire new season.
Right.
And they released it because they didn't pay.
Are you kidding? Did you watch it?
I'm not going to say if I'd hate to be looked at as like
participate.
Yes,
did they really release? They really released the season?
Yeah, we've watched 1 or 2 episodes so far.
Can I make an appeal to these?
Version,
no,
Tom. I don't like it.
Can I make an appeal to these hackers to do some of my shows?
But Pirates, listen, Pirates of the Caribbean has made over $3.2 billion as a franchise. So do you pay? We always come back to this.
How much do they want?
It didn't say, but they're alluding to around $1 million, $2 million.
Can you imagine?
Why wouldn't you pay it? It drives me crazy. I realize it makes everybody. Everybody doesn't want to hear it.
Randy's got a question for Devin. Go ahead, Randy.
Hi.
Hey.
But I have a bentonite problem. You guys have talked to several people today with this problem.
Right.
My house is actually sinking. I've been in the house for about 16 years, and it's only gotten worse. I had called Olshan years ago.
They do peering, right?
Into the place. They said that they worked with a mudjacker, but I'd also talked to some other mudjackers, Ace being one of them, and they told me that they could not inject anything into the void. I have a void that I'm aware of because when I moved in, we had.
Well, where is the void? Where is it? Underneath the wall?
It's underneath the back patio, which has begun to collapse.
Yeah, but what you say your whole house is sinking?
Yes, there's a void. I was heading there. When we moved in, we had a radon mitigation system put in, and when the guy drilled into the laundry room floor to put that pipe in there, I noticed that there was a void, and I'm talking about it went down several feet, probably 3 or 4 feet.
Okay, so a quick question I want for Devin. Devin, can you lift homes?
Not with the polyurethane or mudjacking, no.
You can't. You can't get under a wall and lift a corner.
No.
It's just not strong enough.
Just too much weight.
Too much weight. And
okay, all right.
Which is why I called Olshan.
Yeah. So what did you want to ask Devin then? About what?
I don't understand, because you've talked to people today. This guy, Devin, is saying that he can inject into a void like that and lift a floor, because I have...
Right, he can.
But not a whole house.
But not a house,
no,
right.
No. We're talking two things here.
Yeah.
So I need Olshan to lift my foundation.
Right.
But I've had a mudjacker tell me he can't even lift any concrete because I have a void. He cannot inject any concrete even after Olshan does their thing.
Why?
He didn't tell me. He said he couldn't do it.
Okay, I don't know why. Hold on. We'll address it, all right? We'll address it. Right now, I want to bring your attention to Paradigm Interiors. So many people use this time of year to freshen up the insides of their home, and they look to floor coverings. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth here. This is great news. I send secret shoppers to my sponsors. Did you know that? to find out what kind of a job they do. We sent someone over to Paradigm to check them out. The impression was wonderful. A big, open, airy showroom on Evans, just west of Santa Fe. And the people were friendly and attentive, and you can get all of the product you can find at the big warehouses. And not only that, you get that big warehouse pricing. The pricing was very reasonable. No seconds and thirds, all first quality merchandise. They love the way the design consultant stays with you and answers all of your questions. And then when it comes to the purchasing, they get you complete bids in a short amount of time. And then they have a project manager to oversee the entire project. You can get your tile, hardwood, laminates, your, the new Core-Tech. You can get vinyl luxury tile. If you ask about it, read about it, they'll know about it. You'll find them on Evans, just west of Santa Fe. Give them a call. They've been in business 14 years, and they serve the entire metro area. 303-630-9204. 303-630-9204.
This report is brought to you by Discover Student Loans.
The Highway Drive in fairly decent shape.
So if you get an advertisement from Shotgun Willie's, I can be your secret shopper. Okay.
Do you remember Neon John? Do you know who I'm talking about? John Harrison, tall, skinny guy. He used to bend, fluorescent lights. Not fluorescent. What are they called? Like the beer signs, the old lights. Neon John, of course. So he loved that stupid Shotgun Willie's. So I do this late night computer show on radio, and I'd have to go from downtown to the tech center, and we would go by Shotgun Willie's. He'd always want to stop. Do you know they had a buffet there? They actually had a buffet, and I thought it was the most disgusting thing I ever heard of in my life. Why? Oh, I just can't imagine eating around naked people. It just freaked me the shit out. But I got so mad at them finally because they want $8 for a beer walking in. You know, you basically had a cover charge and you had to buy one beer or some weird shit.
Hey, you know what? John Strasner says that he knows when he told about it, he says they all said they got the contracts, and you said we have no record of it anywhere.
Yeah, we don't have a record of the information ever initially being submitted to him.
Why don't we?
I don't know, because maybe they're lying to him. They filled it out.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it's possible that he filled them out the day that I had to revert back to a backup like we did last week, but I mean, we're talking, you know, I'm grasping at straws here. Yeah, look at that. That's purely, look at AMD today. All these ups.
All right, everybody.
Look at this one.
Let's go.
What are we going to do first?
1600.
Go for a hike? Sure. What about canoeing?
Who's that for? Was that Microsoft?
How long does it take?
No, this is, I own AMD and Microsoft in this one.
Are we there yet?
When I went down there, I was thinking, should I jump in AMD and just like...
I jumped in.
So much oil and gas is pissing me off. I know it's going to jump.
No, we talked about it. We talked about it earlier. We did iHeart. Yeah. We absolutely did. Yep, absolutely.
Political hack and will not deliver equal
Second hour.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Hey, I'll send this to Drew right now. You're okay with that?
I'm going to tell Tim that you haven't been doing the iHeart stuff.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Did we answer Randy? No, not completely about all of that void and all of that problem. He said his house is listing or sinking, and now he was told that once they lift the house and level it, he can't get the floors pumped. The void under the floors pumped, and I'm not sure why they told him that, Devin. Can you think of any reason?
The only reason why I can think about that is, you know, as you pump the material in there, it's going to take the path of least resistance. So by creating more significant void by lifting up the house, that material is going to want to travel underneath that foundation,
and maybe it'll do no good.
And it may not do any good.
Oh, he's saying outside of the realm. In other words, it's not even under the house anymore.
So, Randy, maybe they just don't want to waste your money.
Well, but at some point, don't I have to fill the hole under the floor?
Not with peering.
Well, no. The peering is to lift the house. He wants to know if he doesn't address the voids under the floors, what will happen.
No, doesn't the peering actually hold the house up when they're done, though?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But it doesn't hold. The floors are usually independent of the walls. I mean, unless they're structural floors, and I don't think you have a structural floor.
No, Tom, may I?
Yes.
I have it's a tri-level house, so from the back patio through the family room to the garage and all the way down the driveway, it's all slab on grade.
Okay.
Under the slab on grade, I have a crack in my family room which happens to be tiled. I've already put one tire of my truck through the floor in my garage, and I've already, simply by stepping on it, I cracked.
Wait. It's that weak?
It sounds like it should be condemned.
Because there's obviously a void, and as I said, next to the slab on grade, the first thing that you hit is the laundry room down in the basement.
Right, and I remember you said there's a void under there.
And
it sounds like your entire house is over a void.
Sounds like they built his house over a swimming pool.
No, seriously.
It does. I know. So now I own this house. I invited Old Shan. I've been there 16 years. I invited Old Shan after we were there, 2 or 3 years, because I thought there was a problem. And they looked around and they said, "We see no evidence of your house sinking." They were looking for cracks in the mortar, between the bricks, looking for.
Well, obviously they lifted it though. Didn't they lift it for you or not?
They have not lifted yet.
Well,
I haven't called them because they said, "Oh no, we have no evidence." So
well, then leave it alone. Really, why are you messing with anything if nothing is broken?
Because 10 years later, it is. 10 years later, my floors are not level.
In other words, you've called them 10 years ago and they wouldn't do anything.
Right? They said no.
Okay. Will they do it today?
I haven't called them again. I'm listening to you.
You need an engineer out there. You got a bigger problem than just one void or two voids or I don't know what your problem is, but you need an engineer to analyze it. You really do.
Let's send Devin out there and see how much stuff he can pump under that house.
No, it's impossible. There would be
you can have me come out there and take a look, and I can try to evaluate it, but
you would evaluate.
It's going to be a significant.
Yeah.
It sounds like a significant job.
I would rather get an engineer out there and see if you have serious structural problems and how they can be fixed.
Can you recommend one?
Well, we did have on our referral list, we had some great engineers. Coyle was one of them. Is he still on?
Yeah, I think Coyle is.
An executive structural peering? Is he one that does that, Tom?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You can go to the referral
Actually,
list.
that's who I call.
Yes, executive structural peering. Try them. Go to referralist.com and try it. Randy, you have way more of a problem right now than just the floors. You need to figure out what's happening to your house and address one thing at a time. All right, Marty, what are you asking, Marty?
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Just had a question or a comment about Gary's contractor with all his research that he's done. I was just wondering why they install a product that can't handle the salt.
You're talking about the guy that did the concrete. Well, listen, there is really no concrete that'll stand up to that constant abuse, really.
You know what's weird,
Marty?
You can drive through a neighborhood that was all done within the same 3 or 4 months and see problems at one and not in the others. So I'm convinced a little bit of mag chloride dripping off my vehicle doesn't create spalling. I'm just convinced of it. Well, now, maybe if I drenched it and dumped buckets of it.
You're kind of right, Mark, because otherwise everyone would have it. And Ken Williams Concrete, who we had on the referral list for years.
Never has it.
No, he never has spalling, never. And I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's that he takes the time to finish it properly. Now, I'm saying, though, that, I don't know, there is the argument to be made, Marty, that if you do it right, it shouldn't spall. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it just sounds like workmanship, poor workmanship on that installation, but
there are a lot of disclaimers, Marty.
My driveway was poured in 2001, and there's no spalling on it. So how come my driveway that's been around that long and is at a huge slope doesn't have any issues? Isn't that weird?
Marty, what about you? Are you in the business?
I'm a mechanical contractor, and I just get tired of the poor workmanship on different aspects.
You're right. You really are right, and it's become accepted. Like the notion that in a house you're not going to find square walls. You know, you hear the joke. When people get done framing a house, you won't find a 90-degree square anywhere. And technically, they're right. I mean, people have gone a lot faster, and we've come to accept things that are close as opposed to exact.
But we're also not willing, for the most part,
to pay
for that exact.
You're right. You're right. I think we've all become the Walmart mentality. Get it done quickly or cheaply.
We can't all load...
Amazon, whatever.
We can't all load planes properly. We can't all be Southwest.
Oh, stop. You know what? You're just trying to get me, or you're not going to get me. Folks, I want to tell you something. Tell friends about the YouTube and the Facebook posts so you can watch them afterwards. And they're a lot of fun, especially if you go back and listen to that one about Bentley Baths. And by the way, the follow-up on Bentley Baths, he has not done anything yet. He says he's looking into it.
We might have more info tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
Maybe.
We may have more info on that, so you might want to stick around for that. Devin Johns, Concrete Lift and Stabilization, 720-890-2740. 720-890-2740. Concrete Lift.
Free estimates.com,
and you can find them on Referralist at referralist.com.
If you want luxury granite or quartz countertops in your kitchen, you need to call Art of Granite. They sell you the stone at the wholesale price and only charge you the installation and the labor. They're custom fabricators who have a gold star with the Better Business Bureau. And when they remodel your kitchen, they're going to do your bathroom vanity absolutely free. Call them right now at 303-386-5919. That's 303-386-5919, or go online at artofgranite.net.
You know the thing about routine maintenance?
Duh, it's routine.
Lynn and Michelle here.
The sisters from Brothers, and there's nothing exciting about routine anything.
But if routine maintenance for your home's plumbing, electrical system, or comfort system is overlooked, it turns into something else, repair work. It's simple. Routine maintenance will always cost you less time and money than repairs. So call Brothers. We'll send a technician over for an
about 5 feet. And we went through 3 yards, and I still hadn't moved it. And I said, I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, it could be going anywhere. Hell, it could be going into an abandoned well.
That was a bad one.
Well, this guy here says he shoved a tire.
I know.
There. He could just get a cement pump.
I don't know. What's that guy living there for?
And dump a bunch of concrete, just fill that up there. But
you buy a big balloon.
No, they get those cement pumps, those big hoses and stuff. I mean, he could fill it up a couple yards.
Oh, you mean like literally have a cement truck fill up?
Right, cement truck with a pump. He'd shove the holes on
there. That would be weird.
Well, like I say, if he's got enough void that he's putting a tire in there, I mean, he's got some.
Yeah. His house is.
Can you imagine?